Oh, is this thing on? Hi, I'm Jeff. Welcome to Spice Runners Lounge.
Hello there. This is General Kenobi. Hey, this is David from Blackspire Broadcast.
Hey, I'm Todd Freeman, also known as Toad.
Hey guys, Appetite for Collectibles here.
Well, hey, I'm Seth. This is Rogue Squad Garage.
Hey, it's J2SO.
This is Joel Hawsey at Hawsey Custom.
Hi, I'm Jason.
Yo, this is Evan the Collector.
And you are watching the Spice Runners Lounge. And welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to Spice Runners Lounge.
And welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
You're watching Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to Spice Runners Lounge.
And welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to Spice Runners Lounge.
Join me and together we can rule the galaxy.
And welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge. Epic. Hey, welcome everybody to the Spice Runners Lounge, where we hang out every Friday and talk dank ferric.
My clappers went off.
You're right, Scott?
Yeah, my clappers went off when I did that, so they turned off the lights. So yeah.
I thought he was having a brain stroke. I was like, pause the show.
What?
Yeah, so today we have a special episode. We have our buddy Dave Boudreau in the house.
Welcome, Dave.
Artist extraordinaire. We'll talk about his life as an artist and some of the things he's worked on. Also this week we have David from Blackspire Broadcast as a co-host, filling in for Jeff's. Jeff's is in his hotel room getting ready to come back from undisclosed mission in the eastern part of the United States.
Undisclosed mission.
Yes, the outer rim territories.
So welcome everybody. During the pre-show, we decided that the word of the night will be art.
Or any form of it. Artist. You could even put an F in front of it. That's fine. We're good with that. But whatever you want to do. But yes, art. Yeah. Is that when you hear that?
So when Scott remembers to hit the hi-ya.
Hi-ya. Exactly. You should have heard the word that we almost went with, but then we said no.
All right, let's say what's up to everybody in the chat real quick. We got Santino. What's up? I'm ready to get smashed. Oh boy.
Special guest.
What's up, Rolando? Todd Freeman, good to see you, man. Glad to see your powers up and running.
Hey, Todd.
Jose, what's up?
Jose.
Sean Stone, what's up, Sean?
Hey, Sean.
What's up, brother?
He's an AT-AT driver, not an AT-AT.
Oh. What's up, Joseph?
Hey, Joseph.
Joseph.
Pizarro in the house.
Yeah.
Joseph. Jason, what's up, Jason? Lucky winner last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What's up, Sean Cooney?
Sean.
Let's see, we got our boy Flex, Spice Baby.
Yes. This is not the Spice Channel. Just want to make
What's
sure
up,
that's clear.
Nilda?
Spice
For
Channel.
collectibles.
Nilda.
I got to shout out Nilda for the figures. Thank you.
I know that.
Awesome.
We got Duffman Dioramas. What's up, Duff? Got my buddy James in the house. Kaduku the Collector. You just need to come over here, man, and sit in the lounge chairs and hang out. Lives right behind me.
Hey, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Hello, Chris.
Got Sean Miller. What's up, Sean Miller? It's going to be a good night when Sean Miller's in the chat.
Oh, yeah, because he's an instigator. He always starts stuff, which is awesome. I love it. I love it.
Hey, Marcel.
Marcel. F artist. Uh-oh, okay.
All right, there's one.
Already started.
All right, that's it. That's the first one.
And then we got Sean Miller already.
What are you doing?
So that's actually 3.
Wow.
Marcel gave us one too.
Yeah, I did.
I gotta be careful.
All right, I think we're all caught up.
No, there's the best one right here. Was Sean replying to my AT-AT?
Oh, AT-AT, man.
No, AT-AT.
That's like potato and potato. You know, the world will never solve it.
Yep.
Well, welcome everybody. Another Friday night hanging out. This is our first show in October, so if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of dressed up. My lights are washing out my Han Solo vest.
This is Han Solo vest, yes. Evan being very cool.
Well.
His Han Solo pants. Sun pants.
Yes.
Some Disney modeling here.
Yep, the fashion show. Gotta love it.
It's not as cool as the robes we're going to be.
Yeah, so in the last episode of the month, we're all going to wear something. So that's a challenge for the group here. Yeah. So if you want to dress like another person from the show, that's still legal.
Hey, Todd, this doesn't count because that's actually kind of a verb. We're looking for nouns.
So yeah, let's get in our weekly collecting updates, guys, and that way we can transition over to David. So if you guys didn't watch my stuff on Instagram, I created a reel about this dude.
I love that thing, man.
That's the Gentle Giant 1/6 scale milestone. It's a Diamond Select and a Gentle Giant mashup. Really good, man. Let me grab it real quick. But this sucker has some weight on it. It represents season 7 Maul from Clone Wars, like during his final days there against Ahsoka. But like the details on this thing is amazing, man. Like when I unboxed it, I thought it was like mixed media, but it's all painted on. They did a really good job with.
It looks like leather on his black
paint job and the texture. Yeah,
right. It looks like art.
Oh.
Yeah, we're screwed tonight.
You start feeling the lamp and the toy thing come back. You're like,
then for our buddy David, Blackspire, I got him this sucker right here.
Back into him.
Much appreciated, kind sir. Much appreciated.
So, the birthday present for the birthday
David
boy.
has the life-size helmet that goes with that.
Is that the Macquarie version?
Yeah,
it is. It's the concept Obi-Wan and Vader from.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a D23 exclusive, and they started selling at the parks.
Wow.
No, much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated.
Hell yeah. That beer's going to taste good tomorrow.
It will. We are meeting up tomorrow, so it'll be good. It'll be good.
But I think that's everything that I got this week. I don't know. I probably got something else. Well, you know what? But it's not Star Wars related. I did get the T'Challa challenge mask from D23. It's like a ceramic mask that's hanging on a stick. I posted it on my Instagram. I just have it somewhere else that I can't reach it right now. So that's everything I got this week.
Not bad.
Let's see what Mr. Boudreau got. Boudreau.
I haven't gotten anything since August. It's the last time I got anything. Everything kind of flooded in after my birthday or during my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's my 53rd lap around the sun. And,
I'm one behind you.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I got my John Edwin sand crawler. That was the Randy Cooper model, and I got my Macquarie bust Vader helmet thing, and
which is awesome.
The Bush helmet.
Yes, I love it.
And yeah, everything kind of flooded in and all at once, but I haven't gotten anything since then. And basically, my collection is coming to a close because I'm running out of space.
Oh,
yeah.
And I pretty much there's very few things out there right now that I really want. I think the last thing that I really want, but I don't have the room for, and it's something like I'm going to have to kick down the street for a while until I have a bigger place or a house of my own, which is the life-size R2 and 3PO, which is on my bucket list, but that's far down the road. But yeah, nothing to report this month anyway, or the last few weeks.
But you do have your eyes on possible larger things that you're like, Man,
none whatsoever.
Nothing at all.
I have one thing that I'm working on, which is behind here, which I'll reveal probably in a few weeks. The only thing, I have two more things coming in, and that's it. I have my bowcaster. Chewy's bowcaster, and
is that the Blaster Factory one?
No, it's from Manny.
Okay, yeah. Quartermac.
And the last thing that I have coming in, the cloth ears Lando Calrissian skiff helmet.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too.
That's an awesome.
And that's it, and then that's when I tie a bow in, and that's it. That's when I'm done in the collecting world for now.
For now, yeah, right. Until you sell something.
No, I haven't sold anything yet, and I don't plan to, and I don't want to. So there's nothing in my collection that I would want to sell that would make up enough room to warrant me buying something else. So I got my chrysanthemum bust.
Yes.
That thing is awesome.
Sweet, man.
The beautiful work of Nathan Ritchie and
Captain Nader, right?
Yeah, he is awesome. So I saw his work and I had to have it, and so I worked out a deal where he could create a somewhat of a bust. I built the bust, but then he sent me the mask, and then I kind of did everything else so that it looks like a bust, I guess you could say. But but it's all his work. And,
I think it's menacing, man.
Well, his Chewy mask or bust, whatever, is pretty amazing. I mean, Regal, obviously, top notch, no question. But he's right underneath it. You know, it has the look. Yeah, he does great work.
That's the one up there.
It's probably just on par. It's just not licensed. That's the only difference.
Of course, yeah. But I mean, you can see the Regal one. And God, look at that! Look at how cool that looks.
So awesome.
And then you got the the sand.
That sand crawler is so good.
In the corner. Oops, sorry guys.
I love that sand crawler.
Yeah,
damn.
There's just we need to talk about all of it.
Yeah.
Man, I wish
I can't wait to get to that part of the segment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's going to be awesome.
What's the Falcon that's hanging in the back? Is that
is the D. Agostini that I bought from Gabe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
So you bought his that he was working on. Yeah.
Yeah, he was working on it. He did, I think, most of 90% of the work. And I put it there just to get it out of the way because I don't have room for it, and I haven't touched it yet. So I have to do all the painting on it and just the odds and ends that he didn't do. So I'm looking forward to that day when I get to it.
Yeah. As we got the compliment from Darth. Yeah, it's like you got to sit down in your place, David, and just be like, this is amazing. This is so cool.
Yeah, I was doing that the other day. I was cleaning up. I think I posted some pictures of it. Because towards the end of my collection, and I always wanted to do that thing that like Joel did. And, but I've never had
in the middle of it.
because of the way my room is situated, I had to take a lot of the stuff off the shelves, and I threw my back out last week. So, so I was kind of doing that. I had nothing.
Did you just sneeze and then the back went?
No, I was actually getting into the shower and turning the shower on, and it just slipped. So,
that's what I mean. It's like you get to our age and you go, achoo, I just threw my back.
Yeah, it's just weird. And so, so at any rate, I wanted to see all my stuff in one picture. It was
Pete Screwdriver.
It's quite the collection. And when did you start collecting this stuff, David? I know we're still going through, but
sorry. I started during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started. But I've been collecting collecting on and off for over 30. Well, most of my life actually. I collected back in the 90s and then sold it all, and then got back into it just before COVID, I should say. Because I wanted to start. I started buying the hot toys. I never knew they existed.
I know, right?
And then I wanted to use them as models for my art. And then I went down that rabbit hole.
There was one right there. Sorry.
And I started sorry. Did I say that?
You have.
At any rate, that's what got me down to that.
Gonna need.
Anyway, we'll get all that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. I just figured since we were in it and how awesome your place is.
Yeah, I have that, David. I have that one.
Oh, David 1 from David 2?
Yeah, David 1.
Okay. I'm David 2.
Oh, cool.
Number
David.
2.
There you go. It's kind of artsy, isn't it?
What are you drinking?
Hold on.
A little turkey. A little wild turkey.
Yeah, you can go ahead and show that decanter.
Oh, okay.
Gobble,
There,
gobble.
Decanter, yes.
Yeah.
And with the matching glass. So it's pretty
Oh, nice.
Glass.
Yeah.
I think I got
get
the
that glass.
Amazon version of that.
Yeah, it was a little birthday gift from some family, and I was telling the guys
Happy
in the
birthday.
pre-show. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I got the Death Star ice balls, but they'd look like alcohol snow cones because they won't fit in the glass. So
right.
Whiskey snow cone Death Star thing. That'd be cool.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? You're an adult. You
Here
can
you
do
go.
whatever the hell you want.
It is
From-
101, Sean. It is 101.
From Nilda, the collection is a work of art.
Thank you, Nilda.
Yes.
Cheers, everybody.
Awesome.
Cool. Anything else, Blackspire?
Well, I got a few things this week actually.
Uh-oh.
I'm doing a little small Tatooine diorama, so I went and got the Obi-Wan Jawa Black Series. Love Jawas; they're just awesome.
I know.
They are.
And
David's
I-
got a full life-size one. So does Evan.
I kind of want to see that, to tell you the truth. I will briefly pause.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He looks very busy right now. But and then I accidentally won an eBay auction. You know how that goes. Where I didn't think
Accidentally.
I'd win.
Yeah,
That's how you tell your wife?
accidentally. You just
Sorry,
tripped into
sorry,
it and
honey.
fell into it.
Accidentally
I
won.
tripped,
Oh, we got it.
tripped and it happened. Yes, but I got the carbonized Second Sister Black Series, so that's pretty cool. And then
Nice.
got a shout out Nilda at Appetite for Collectibles. She hooked it up with the Hunter and Asajj Ventress Black Series this week, so I appreciate that.
So there's mine back there somewhere with all that garbage.
That's the one you made, right?
Yeah, like I made pieces of it. I had the robe custom done by some dude on Etsy. He's a 501st guy, and I looked for the belt. As somebody from Turkey sold it to me, and I just destroyed it and put it on it.
There you go.
And then Flex actually got one of the actors that played a Jawa and got him to sign a plaque for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's legit.
Yeah, he hooked it
David
up.
went back in time, grabbed one, and just ran.
Yes.
His looks screen used.
Yeah, well, it's made from different
Children. It's made from different children.
different children. Yeah, but it was put together by different artists, and I put it all together.
That's awesome. I want a Jawa.
Yeah, so it is pretty awesome.
Cool. Oh, thanks, Blackspire, for sharing.
Yeah, that's it for me.
What about you, Jason? Anything new this week?
Oh, I ordered. Hold on. I got that figure.
You got a new room. That's what we want.
Yeah. I love.
Yes.
Oh, that is
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
That thing's badass. I don't. I don't collect
Oh, sorry, that was last week.
stuff that isn't in the movies usually, but this thing just looks so damn cool.
It does.
Yeah.
That was like I told
Is that
you.
a stormtrooper helmet?
It's a clone trooper.
Yeah, it's a phase. It's a.
I think they had a celebration at in the little custom area.
It comes with,
I didn't see it.
Like zombie porter.
Hasbro, yeah.
Wow.
Does it glow in the dark?
It looks like it does.
I
don't
feel
know.
like it has to, right? It has to.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Todd
Toad
says it
is
glows
saying, glows in the dark. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And,
Nice.
I went to finally get some IKEA cases I talked about last week.
Mhm.
And Evan, the hassle with Florida, it sold out again.
Oh,
I went. I
got it too late.
and then I went to go do pay. It's well, you can't pick up from Tampa. I'm like, son of a bitch. So,
That sucks, man.
I have a bunch of extra shelves for those Vestas if anybody wants them. I think I have 15 or 15 of them.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I bought them at a time when they were hard to get, and
Mhm.
when the window opened, I just ordered a whole as many as I could.
Yeah.
And now I find that I have no use for them, and so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. I think, I got about a little over a dozen. So.
Damn.
If anybody needs them, just let you know. They're $5
David.
$5. There you go.
And real quick, let's compliment how awesome
I know.
J2SO's background.
Yeah, I was going to say, that looks really nice.
Thank you. Yes, I spent
That's
all
dope, dude.
weekend.
What's
Man,
that?
it was a nightmare, actually.
What's that cone-looking thing behind you?
What's
That's his head.
Behind you.
Oh,
That thing, yeah.
That's a R4 droid head.
Oh, okay.
I
I don't know if it was like a space shuttle rocket.
It's in the way, so I just put it under the TV, so I have a use for it.
It looks cool.
Nice.
It looks like
It looks like you're ready to do the news for tonight. I love it.
Dang, we're
That's,
live from course.
I didn't realize that was a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a neon sign.
It looks like a sign. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
That's
I,
why.
Live from the Aldani Underground.
Yeah, the YouTube and put that up there.
Dude,
You need to open the top and have Gaston hanging out the top.
But yeah, that's like I got that figure, and I think that's it so far. Have my eye on some eBay stuff right now, but we'll see how that goes. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
What about you, Joel?
I'll try to make it quick. So
He's like, I try to make it.
Brian
Good
makes
luck with that.
dioramas. I
Oh yeah, came in.
scored that.
Oh man,
Nice.
I traded him a couple custom-made Book of Boba Fett Tusken Raiders. His packaging's amazing. He made these extra steps for me because the height was a little off for the way they don't bend very well with the fat suits and everything. And then I got this Boba Fett, the exclusive Boba Fett, the Arena Fett, and that was a trade for an ARC Trooper that I made. So, yeah, just badass. And then I got the Book of Boba Fett, and this is the old throne from Jabba because you can pull the railing off. So.
Oh, nice. You put it on top of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then let's see. I've been making this bad boy.
That looks really good, man. You've been sharing the progress in the group chat.
What's that? Oh, wow.
It's
That
the
looks
BD.
awesome.
What's his name?
BD1.
Yeah.
BD1.
From a Jedi Fallen.
It's too bright, but
Woo!
it actually looks really cool. It's got the here, hold on.
Lights.
It's got the little iris in
Did
there.
we get one?
Oh, nice.
dude, that's so cool.
His antenna.
It's really good, man.
Wow.
I love
Yeah.
the LEDs in the back. So.
Is that all 3D printed?
Yeah.
Yes. So like Joe will print it and then he'll have it painted like within 20 minutes, and then you're like, "What the hell, dude?"
Yeah, I got it all separated. It was like an 89-hour print to get that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
And then I mentioned it a while ago to David that I wanted to do one, and I pulled the trigger last night and started making my Skeksis.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Yeah, that looks
last
good,
night.
man.
He just started messing with this last night. Look at this.
I did.
Wow.
Extended the arms. It's going to be the Hunter one from the Netflix series, so it's got the skull.
You know, I haven't watched that yet.
What's up, Logan?
It's okay, but the Skeksis is just awesome. So I had to.
Yeah.
He's got the 4 arms. The arms are all posable. So.
Oh, he's got 4. Wow.
Yeah. So he's got the swords, and then on the back it'll have all the leather scabbards and stuff. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
That's a work of art, man.
Yeah, I'll keep it
No
simple
kidding.
there. And then I don't have a picture of it, but the Black Series animated Boba Fett.
Mhm.
I ordered that months and months and months ago off eBay, and I was like, man, this guy's going to screw me over. By the time I tried to get my money back, it was too late. It was like past the point, and then it showed up yesterday, and I was like, what?
Oh, good.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's in a cool box and everything.
Is that the droids one?
Yes.
Like the Target exclusive, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a Target exclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Those came back in stock like yesterday, and I almost pulled the trigger, so that's why I was asking.
You
Anyway.
should. It's a nice figure.
That's
know.
it right
for
there.
me.
Joel's a robot, doesn't sleep.
I don't.
Elon
Elon.
probably did build it, yes.
All
Right?
he needs is Kraken to keep him going.
Yes.
He's
Yeah,
a
right.
Tesla. Yeah, Joel's a Tesla.
Little spice will do you good, huh?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
What about you, Scott? Anything new? Or let me rephrase that. Anything new with Janine's collection?
Yeah, what did you
Exactly, right? Bingo. Nailed it. Son of a bitch. Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of which, so this is from Joel that Janine just got. If anybody wants to blow me up.
You up.
Yeah. So Janine just got this guy. Let's see if I can pop him up a little bit. I mean, ears were wonky when she took the picture because she was in the rush to get out. But this is what I got. But I mean,
the eyes actually look pretty good too. It's just not a good pick.
I love the eyes on that guy.
Yeah. And the robe and everything. So got that one, and then Joel also sent this stuff.
Wow.
So these are the little Gentle Giant, or whichever ones they are. And of course, she's got a full Leia collection that she's got going on and everything. And you can see her desk back here. This is the I'll say it, the artwork that she stole from me, from Regal Robot, to put on her desks. So there it is there. But yeah, I mean that's more or less, it's been kind of simple. There might be a couple other things here or there, but for the most part, no, it's been like that. I've had my eyes on several things. I'm just trying to. I haven't had any time. This whole week has been like work. It's just been crazy. So you have to stop every once in a while and go, okay, where am I at? What do I want to do? Do I have any money? That's usually the question. Do I have any money? And then where do I want to go with stuff? Because I'm really feeling more towards busts or possibly other helmets or props. But then again, like little things will pop up where you're like Dave was talking about with the Hot Toys. You're like, nah, and then you're like, well, maybe I want that one. That one that they just released or that's coming, the droids, the 3 droids.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah, because I was thinking about getting Jeff's R5 that he was selling, and I missed it, because I was thinking about it. Can I do it? Whatever. But I knew this one was coming, and then seeing that it's actually 3 droids worth, you're like, oh, hell yeah. That's on the list for sure.
Yeah, that's a cool set.
That's about it. It's all good.
That's not coming
What
up.
about that Detolf?
Oh, sorry.
The Detolf? Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure she's got pictures. I think she sent some pictures on Spice Runners Lounge with the Detolf. So Sean Stewart gave us one that she took, and then she ordered 2 more. So that's what I was doing yesterday, is putting those things together and getting those set up for her.
Or a pain in the ass by herself.
Yeah.
It's impossible. At least she was home. She was off yesterday, so we put them together. But we moved a lot of her room around and totally have started to restructure it. So she's got more room because, yeah, her collection is like crazy. My wife's collection is crazy. Yeah.
You're just her curator.
Yeah. Right? That's what it's turning into. Or she'll come up here and she starts looking for stuff and she'll take something, and next thing you know, I'll find it down there. What are you doing?
Mine.
We're waiting on the Mace Windu hilt to come in.
The BMF?
Yes. So that's when she got for the anniversary. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I didn't pull the trigger on it. I've been 0 for 2 with Corban, for 0 for 3 maybe with Corban.
Oh yeah, with things, the timing being off and all the other stuff. Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm not buying anything else for a while from them.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much.
So, all right, let's switch over to Mr. Boudreau. So for those that don't know David, he is a professional artist. He's worked on, oh crap, I said it out loud, didn't I?
Professional blank.
Yes.
He's worked on many movies, in animation, Curious George, Sinbad, Spirit, El Dorado, Prince of Egypt, 8 Crazy Nights. He was a supervising animator for Enchantia. Did character design for Adventures of Santa Claus. Character design for Spirit. Worked at Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
Damn.
He's done a lot. He's currently working Family Guy and American Dad. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Boudreau.
Howdy, everybody.
Good work.
Yeah, David, thanks for accepting our invite to be showcased tonight.
Well, thanks for having me.
Definitely an honor to have a professional artist on the show.
Well, again.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Gotta find another name for what he does.
Do I have to drink too?
Whatever you want. I mean, I've got energy drinks. I got energy drinks. So.
Water,
There better be
Gatorade.
vodka. There better be some vodka.
It's vodka. It's big vodka. Promise.
So David,
exactly, nailed it, Jason, nailed it.
So David, what we try to do on this show is, every guest that we have, we ask them, what inspired them to get into Star Wars, and I guess that'll be the first question I'll ask you. What got you into Star Wars? And
well, I saw Star Wars. How about that?
Right. What's your favorite movie, and why is it Empire Strikes Back?
Well, it's yeah. I grew up mostly, like, my dad's an artist, and so I grew up. Oh shit! I grew up drawing a lot when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, since a really early age, I was playing. She would give me Play-Doh. I don't know if you remember that stuff, but
oh yeah,
I would sculpt with Play-Doh and I would draw, and my mom would often have to, like, she wouldn't hear any noise in the other room because I was just so into doing what I was doing, and I was like very quiet. And
but everybody knows that when kids are quiet, that's usually the scary time. Because
yeah,
right? Something
bad's going on.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But my mom would check in, and I'd be just happier than a pig and shit, and just drawing and painting, or with my coloring books or whatnot. And I mean, my mom still has like a lot of drawings that I have since I was like, I think the earliest was like 3 or 4 years old, and
wow.
I was big into the Muppets. I loved Batman and Robin from the '60s.
Adam West, yes sir.
Yeah, Adam West.
Burt Ward.
I Planet of the Apes, H&R Puffin stuff, Land of the Lost.
Oh yeah.
Banana Splits. Did I mention that?
Yeah, we grew up same time. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
so all those right up until Star Wars, I was right into all of that stuff. $6 Million Man.
Oh yeah.
Anything that dealt with fantasy and creatures. I used to get, like, my mom, anytime we would go on vacation or we were out when I was like a toddler, she'd buy me those like rubber snakes and those rubber crocodiles and like little creatures, insects and stuff. And I would play jokes on her because I would leave them in drawers and in the refrigerator, and I'd be like that, waiting for my mother to screech. But yeah, anything that was like creature related, I was always fascinated from. And then when I saw Star Wars for the first time, I was right at the right age. I was 7 years old, and my brother, who was 3 years older, he was into like the G.I. Joe stuff. And ironically, I never wanted to see Star Wars at first,
right?
Because I thought it was a war movie about like G.I. Joe, like, you know, and I didn't quite understand.
You went out and saw it, right? Like, my parents thought I was going to fall asleep in it. It was a 10 o'clock showing. They're like, yeah, he's going to fall asleep. He's not going to be interested. Yeah, okay. But
yeah, my mom was going to take my brother, and of course I was going along with them. And from the moment the credits started, from my memory and from what my mother tells me, I was like right at the edge of my seat, like with my mouth open, and
yeah,
you know, taking it all in. Like, just I couldn't stop watching. I couldn't get enough of it.
For me, it was the beginning. I was like sitting in my mom's lap, and she's reading the opening crawl to me. You know, I'm just watching it, and then that Tantive comes out and the Star Destroyer, and I just go. Phew. And I was like that the entire film. I'm sure you were the same way.
Oh yeah, it's like it was like you know, a little crack baby.
Yes. You got any more of them Star Wars?
So yeah, that started the addiction right there. And little did I know it would send me in the direction of my life, and it sent me, like, if I had to look back on it and a pinnacle moment of time, it set me on my journey to where I am today. And because from that moment on, anything I was always interested in books. I was more interested in the behind the scenes than the movie itself. So I would buy like I still have the books today, like all the Star Wars behind the scenes, ILM, any magazine that came out. I was like Starlog, Fantastic Films, Cinema Fantastique, anything that I could get my hands on. I would watch the VHS. I recorded the making of on VHS over and over again. I think Tom Spina talks about it a lot. And just the behind the scenes and the creature creative.
Yeah, you were really fascinated with the. I think at that time a lot of us were more fascinated with the toys or what was out there, and there you are going, I want to know how they made it. I want to know how they did that.
That's exactly how I felt, and I was fascinated more. Like I think more because I was doing it as like a hobby, that people could actually get paid for doing this, and I the only thing is like I'm from a small town in Canada, and in Nova Scotia, and I had no idea how to get from there to Hollywood.
Right.
And that was my biggest dilemma. And so it throughout my I high school, I think 83, by the time Star Wars was on its out after Return of the Jedi, I just entered high school, and I didn't really lose interest in it, but I was just, I was growing up and girls, and I became an athlete. I became a soccer player, and I kind of lost interest, but I still drew. I still had that nerd side of me that I hid. I played Dungeons and Dragons as well. So
you were like Star Wars, boobies.
Yeah. And, but I still had a love for it. I just, went through the cycle of life, I guess, and just kind of, I secretly loved it from afar. And it wasn't until like the senior year of my high school that one of my dad's friends was asking me what I was going to do after high school, and I had no idea. I saw my friends applying to business school, teachers college, you name it, right? And I didn't want to do any of that. And I considered architectural drafting. I also wanted to be a professional soccer player.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? And
I will do buildings and kick balls around.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't think that was the reality, too realistic. So my dad's friend suggested that had I ever considered animation. And growing up, I loved Wonderful World of Disney. I watched it like 6:00 on a Sunday night. And the episodes that I loved the most was when Walt Disney was coming on and giving a behind the scenes of how the animation was done.
I totally remember that. Yeah. I can hear the theme and how it looked, and then him coming out and going, "We're here at the." I
he's
totally
sitting
see
at his desk
it.
and he's like introducing it, and they go back. And I was always fascinated by that. But I mean, again, I was more into the behind the effects. ILM stuff. But by the time that hit, Star Wars was kind of out of the loop, and Disney Animation was on the uprise with Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and so my focus kind of shifted towards that as a career to become that seemed more tangible, more. You can actually go to school for it, and because before that there was no school for ILM at that time. This is before the internet, and there was very little art schools. I didn't even take art in high school. We weren't offered school, and So yeah, to me it was an eye-opening thing. I had to go to Ontario in Toronto, Sheridan College for animation.
Yeah, Sean, real quick, sorry. Sean Miller said, "You're Canadian, awesome. I read your resume and noticed you went to
Sheridan.
Sheridan."
Yep. We called it a no knowledge college at the time.
Nice.
But yeah, it was the equivalent education that we got at Cal Arts here.
I guess that counts.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was Cal Arts was Cal.
I already finished my cup.
Some more.
I already finished the sucker.
Sheridan was like a fraction of the price. But same education, but a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
And when I got to my first year, I was already a very solid draftsman, but I never really understood animation, and I had a hard time my first year going into it because I was illustrating every little drawing, and not to go too technical, but animation is the study of movement and the fluidity in your drawings, and it's basically to be a good animator, you have to see the motion in between the drawings and not drawing itself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like stop animation on paper, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, animation is the study of movement. It's not the study of drawing that move. So yeah, I had a really hard time my first year, but I passed. But I didn't go back for my second year. I decided to stay back. I took architectural drafting for a year. That was back in 1988.
Mm-hmm.
And
1819.
Yeah. long time ago.
Tell me.
Galaxy far away.
Right. But I hated that even more. So I quit about halfway through, called the college up and said, "Hey, can I come back for my second year?" And they were okay with it. And
nice.
Nice.
If you know some of the Canadian politics, Sheridan College is a provincial tax-paid college. So if you come from Nova Scotia, they make exceptions to get in. Because I didn't live there and I didn't pay taxes in the province, then it was much more difficult for me to get in. But they made an exception. So when I went back for my second year, it was kind of depressing because all my friends that I made in first year were now in third year. And now I'm in second year, and all the second year students are like, "Who's this new kid?" And it felt like being held back a grade. And so I had to basically relearn what I really didn't learn in my first year and apply it to my second year assignments. And to make a long story short, I was the only student that had to stay back an extra 3 weeks to finish my assignments. So there's nobody in the classroom. It's just me. So I had to get up, go to the school, work there. There was nothing but the janitors and me. Everybody has gone for their summer vacation, and I had to stay back an extra 3 weeks to finish my assignment. And finally I finished, and I think they passed me just based on my pure dedication. My mom and dad were flipping the bill, so I called them up. I was upset. I think I'm going to fail. I came back. I made the wrong decision coming back. My mom was like, "No, just stick it out. We're behind you." Blah blah blah. So I did, and they passed me. So
nice.
By the time I got back, I went back to Nova Scotia for the summer to work. And then by the time I got back to my third year, we start with like 100 students at Sheridan in first year. Then it's whittled down to 75, I think, in second year. And then there's like 60 students in third year. So there's like there's two classes of 30. So, you get, but I mean, it was for the first time, it was, I felt I was part of something, like part of a group, and I didn't have to hide that nerdy side of me. I felt really comfortable because everybody was like-minded. Everybody was an artist. Everybody was into Star Wars. Same sort of like behind, same sort of story that I've had. Some of them were there though, who weren't all that great. They were just they were like silver spoon type of people that were just avoiding to go to college, and they took an art course for animation. So they got weeded out pretty quickly. Right up my third year, I had to do a film, third year film, and which I already I worked in a lumber yard. That's before going back, and my dad was a manager of a hardware store, so I worked in the back, and there wasn't a lot of I didn't really have to do too much, put it that way, except load lumber on trucks. So there was a lot of off time. So I storyboarded my third year film. I was trying to jump the gun kind of thing and get ahead of everybody by the time I returned, and I'd be ready to go. And a lot of people don't end up finishing their films, and it's a lot of work to do like a 2-minute film by yourself, and it's like 24 frames a second. So if you think, 2 minutes of film is a lot of drawing, and a lot of not only that, you got to do the backgrounds, you got to do all the designs, character design, everything. So it's a one-man show. I think I finished about halfway through it, or maybe a quarter of it, by the time the end of the year. But that's when the studios from either California or Toronto, Vancouver, they would fly in towards the end of the year and start recruiting people. And that's when, ironically, ILM showed up. And
interesting.
And I got accepted. And the only thing is, and it's nothing but excitement for me. They showed up, they saw my reel, they hired me, and there's nothing more amazing than get a piece of mail with ILM at the top of the envelope and the heading, but it was an unpaid internship. So my excitement went from sadness because I didn't have anybody that lived in California. I couldn't work for free. I couldn't live for free. And so, I ended up not taking the job or taking the internship. Luckily I had 2 other jobs offered to me. And one was my first film, which was Fern Gully
I love Fern Gully
in Toronto. So that was my first film.
It's like Sean had said here, I would have loved to get the call from ILM. Absolutely, but the thing is, it's like, hey, we just want you to come down and work for us for free.
Well, then the sadness turned to anger, because then I was like, what
am I not good enough to pay me? What is it?
Yeah, I'm good enough, but don't you have enough money to pay me? And but I mean, at that time, you got to remember my head was in a different spot because, again, there was no talk about Star Wars. Star Wars was not
boobies. Go on.
This is 1990, 91 at this time.
21.
And Star Wars wasn't even spoken of at all. So I wasn't all that excited, and my mindset was more on becoming an animator. And in the prequels weren't even spoken of. So the route of going animation, becoming an animator was more appealing to me at that time. So it's and I can't regret anything about it. I've had a great career. The rest is history, as they say.
Well, there's lots of things to unpack in there that I mean, amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing that you went through all that, didn't give up, and then even got to the point of the ILM thing. But it wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be. Otherwise, an uncle from whatever would have been like, I live right here in San Rafael. You're good, Marin County, but it wasn't meant to be. But like other things, like when you're talking about animating and then doing a 2-minute piece, 24 frames, the backgrounds, all the other stuff, I don't know why, but my mind all of a sudden went to half of the cartoons that we watched growing up as kids, Tom and Jerry, Popeye, whatever it was. It starts to make sense because those things were done in the 40s, 50s, 60s, early 70s or whatever, that the amount of work to do a cartoon, they're like,
it took years.
Just show the other one. Just show that one we did 10 years ago.
Yeah,
just show that.
Well, especially Disney animation, which is a higher end type of animation. There was, I think, basically there was only like Warner Brothers, like Chuck Jones, and Disney really, that were, and then later on in the 70s or early 60s, the Hanna-Barbera, but that was more of a different type of animation, and it was more TV stuff like Fred Flintstone and
the Voltrons and all the other crap that started to come out later on.
Yeah, that was
Sundar the Barbarian.
Yeah, and
Herculoids.
Yes.
All over the place. That's awesome. Everybody remembers something different.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's I mean, I after Fern Gully, I went to work for a TV company called Nelvana, where I did character design for American Tail, Fievel Goes West, and and a show called Dog City, which was a Jim Henson production. Wow. I did character design for that as well, and I did some animation for the opening of the show. They kept me busy at the studio because like I said, like I've always been known for my draftsmanship, and that was always a solid base to keep me on board. And but I was also new, so they paid me like half of what most people were getting paid there. So, and I was just happier. I was just happy to work. And I mean, I remember when they started paying me, I was like, "You're gonna pay me how much to do what?"
Right.
So I was really happy until
what year was this again? Around what
this
time?
Would have been 91, 92.
Okay. Wow.
And, I started working before I graduated. I started working I just did a few commercial work, like cereal commercials, like Nestle Quick and cornflakes and Tricks Are for Kids. I actually animated one of those scenes that Tricks Are for Kids.
Nice.
91. That was really kind of when Batman the Animated series was taking everybody's fascination.
My friend Darlie Brewster worked on that. Did the opening, a lot of the opening credits for that show.
I always
and
forget.
Real quick, David, Jason, David. There you go.
What's that? Oh, hey, hi, Jason. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, don't let Jason fool you either. He went to UCLA and did some drawing stuff there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a little bit. Worked for Bongo Comics for a while, and interned a few different places. But I'm a wannabe.
No.
So again, David. So 91, they started paying you finally, and
yeah. So I often went in for a raise, and they I think I finally, after 2 years, they gave me a $25 a week raise, and I was still getting paid like literally, I'm talking half of what everyone else was getting paid, and I was doing double the amount of work. And
that's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like how things are now today.
Yeah, I was eager and young, and I was paying my dues, and I was okay with that. And then I went on vacation in actually it's my anniversary coming up. I went on vacation in October of '93, and found a job here working for Bill and Sue Croyer, who did Fern Gully, but their main unit was here in California, and they were the last people that I saw on my vacation. I came here vacation/portfolio, and this is like back in the day where you had to take your portfolio, drop it off, then come back the next day or that afternoon and pick it up, go to another place, And,
no internet. Yeah,
there's no internet, and they weren't working on anything at the time, Sue, and I had gotten a tentative offer at Disney doing in-betweening, but I didn't find that out until weeks later, and Bill and Sue weren't working on anything except for a half-hour special at the time, and it was my last day before I left back to Toronto, and I really had no offers, and Sue is like a little she's from Wisconsin, and I love her to death. I went to go meet her, and she was like, "Oh, we love Canadians." And like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm shopping my portfolio around." She goes, "Oh, do you got your portfolio?" I was like, "Yes, I just picked it up." She goes, like, "Oh, go get it." So I brought it in, and she started flipping through, and she's like, "Oh my gosh. Let me go get Bill. So she goes and gets Bill, her husband, who directed Fern Gully, and Bill comes in. I get introduced to him for the first time because I never met him during the whole time I worked on Fern Gully 2 years prior. And so he's looking at my portfolio, and long story short, they hired me on the spot. And
nice.
So I went back and they offered me $300 more than what I was getting paid American. And I went back home and basically, gave my goodbyes to Nelvana. And I was living here by November. I moved here November 4th, 3 days after River Phoenix died.
Oh, yeah. Friend of the Viper. Yeah.
1993. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
What's up, Gabe?
What's up, Gabe?
Gabe
says, "Hey, what's up, everyone? Love David's name tag since I butcher his last name."
See,
David,
there you go.
David is such a multi-talented. Wait for it. Artist.
Thank you, Gabe.
Thanks, Gabe. That one was for you, actually, Gabe. I actually phonetically wrote it out so everybody knew how
it's supposed to sound.
Anyway, that's the basically the short, long way round my career.
So tell me about your mother.
My mother.
I loved Fern Gully when I was a kid, and the damn pollution monster thing that would go around scared me so much.
What's his name? Hexes.
Yeah.
I in between. I didn't animate on that film, but I did the drawings of what the animator didn't do. So, in the grander scheme of things, there's an animator who does the keyframe animation. So if you're going to be doing a punch, you go from here to here, and I will do all the drawings that were in between. Hence, in between. And that was the best education I've ever gotten, even more so than the 3 years at Sheridan. I actually took that job over an animation position on a half-hour special that was being done there at the same time. And a lot of my friends thought, "Dude, you're taking an in-betweening job over an animate. You got the title of an animator." And I didn't want that. I wanted to learn. I didn't feel confident enough to be an animator at that time, and I wanted to see what other artists were doing at that time. And I learned just a boatload of, because I worked under some of the best animators in the world, and
so worth it.
Yeah, it was well worth the time, and so it was a great if you will, it was a paid internship.
Nice.
Yes.
You know, in that sense. So that's why. But yeah, I worked on a few scenes of Hex's where he's.
Yeah.
I think he says "mother's milk." Mother's milk. I can't believe I remember that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was fun. That was and it was the most non-Disney movie outside of Disney at that time.
Yeah.
Like as far as the design goes, I was like, oh, this is right up my alley. I loved the feel of it and the fairies. And
you said you worked on Fievel Goes West too.
I did. I didn't work on the movie. I worked on the TV series. So I did. I did character design for the TV series.
Okay, yeah, I was born in '89, so those were exactly when I was.
Oh wow!
Watching those ones.
So I was babysitting you.
Yes.
Yeah. I love watching those,
David, you could be his father.
Trust me, I'm the young buck here, man. Trust me.
Yeah.
So in that case, we could all be your father.
You might be. You might be.
Including J2SO. Anyways, go on.
He's 4 years older than me, so.
It was funny because like I would be at a convention. I did I've done quite a few conventions over the years, selling my work, and people would come up to my booth and they would see sometimes I would bring some of my animation drawings from the films I worked on, and there was two sisters that were madly in love with El Dorado, but these girls were good looking girls, and sadly they were like, what did they say? I mean, they made reference to like, oh, I love this movie when I was a kid, but they were still like, 14 or 15.
Yeah,
good looking girls. But it was sad when you have people come up to your booth and remind you just how old some of these.
You're like, damn, she's hot, and then she's like, oh, I'm 20 years old. Like, damn.
Or she'll be like, oh, my dad, he's so old, he's like 35, and you're like, whoa, okay,
right?
My dad loved this when I was a kid.
You mentioned that you were showing drawings from the production. Were you allowed to keep a lot of your work, or was it just certain?
No, you weren't.
Drafts and things.
But I kept a lot of it under wrap. Like I didn't tell anybody, and it was mostly I would redraw it or I would Xerox it and file it into my stack of drawings for my animation, so I could keep some of it. I still have a stack of drawings that I still have from Prince of Egypt and El Dorado. I think I might have a few from Sinbad, Proteus, but yeah, all of it's all archived. So like you basically have to sign a waiver that any work that you do for the studio for the duration, even the stuff that you do outside the studio, they still own. But nobody's like, for instance, if I did any of this work, this Star Wars stuff, they would consider that under the umbrella of what they own.
Oh,
right. Nobody's ever, it's never been a problem. Nobody's ever come after me going.
Hey Joel, just apropos of nothing, can we take a look at that dewback head sculpt you got back there?
Sorry, David.
It's okay.
Oh my God, that's huge.
Yes. Actually,
yes. What?
Yeah.
That's bigger than the one I have.
Dude,
wow.
Loving it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh,
that's what I'm working on now.
Tony Ton.
Love it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Anywho.
Sorry, David.
Yeah, go on, David. Sorry.
All right.
Bring up your
I don't even know what I'm talking
website,
about. What was I
David.
saying?
Back to art and stuff.
You were saying they had a down, which I figured at the time they're pretty
oh wow,
restrictive what you could take.
Man, what is that middle one?
That's a thing that I just did on my own. I
love
saw
that.
a cosplayer, actually. It was inspired from a cosplayer. I think you can go up to my concept design sketches.
So, David, are you using acrylic, oil, wash?
Everything here right now since 2011. I worked on right here my tablet.
Wacom? You got a Wacom? Nice. Cintiq. Sweet.
Cintiq, my Cintiq.
I love that one.
Yeah, that one's nice.
That's a nice.
Most
one.
of it, some of it's mixed, some of it's old school, like in my portfolio anyway. Some of it's
Beautiful piece.
So what talk to us a little bit about your process for a piece like this. Are you doing a series of thumbnail sketches?
I do. Yeah, I do. I'm a storyboard artist now by trade, so I no longer really animate, but I kind of do and I kind of don't. I also do development work. So I kind of have, when I started doing the Star Wars stuff, I wanted to do something that I came up with this idea of like doing shots of things that might have been in Star Wars that I never got to see.
The in-betweens.
Yeah, the in-between scenes.
I kind of like to do shit like that too.
Yeah,
So that was basically the concept of what I did. So I'll start off with doing sketches first, just to get an idea of my composition.
Do you do by hand or directly on the Wacom?
What's that?
Do you do sketch by hand or do you directly in the Wacom you're sketching?
I sketch by hand on everything. So
like pencil paper, or are you sketching?
Oh no, I do everything on the tablet.
On the Wacom?
So much easier, so much faster.
Yeah.
So I'll do a bunch of thumbnails first, again to get my rough idea out, storytelling, and then I'll go from there. I'll do more. I'll start taking photographs of some of the stuff that I've actually used, some of my props, just to get the sense of lighting and photo reference, and then I just start drawing, and I kind of have an idea of in my head. I'll do like a black and white sketch,
sure,
like a rough idea to get my light source before I do anything as far as color. So,
and that was going to be my next question: is if you're working out the gray values first, and then you're laying color over.
I kind of go back and forth. It depends. Sometimes I get so impatient that I don't want to do grayscale, and
right,
I go straight to color.
Just start diving in. Yep.
Depends on how clear of an idea I have first. It's cool. Sometimes I just kind of skip steps. Sometimes I don't.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Yeah. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day, I guess.
So, like one of your recent prints for the Star Wars, which are absolutely fantastic, obviously caught everybody's imagination. So, just one of those prints, really kind of from concept, working out the composition, storytelling, all the way through to full render. What would you say on average you're spending on the completion?
From start to finish, I'd say a good week. Like if I sat down for 8 hours a day, the second day would be just to I'd say the first day would be just doing my roughs first. Second, and then getting the second day would be probably assorting photo reference, the things that I feel I need, or like paintings of inspiration from various different artists, like a color palette, just like, I like this color, I like that color, but I try to paint within the color boundaries and color palette of Star Wars, so I didn't go too saturated with some of my palette. I always like to paint very unsaturated anyway, because it feels after like I don't paint like most digital artists. I've drawn and painted my whole life. I only started working digitally.
You said artist, sorry.
I only started painting or starting working digitally in 2011, and that's when I actually bought my first computer. I was like,
How hard was it to go from that and get
It wasn't
used
hard.
to doing it?
It wasn't hard because the way I work, I just opened up Photoshop. I opened up a layer and I just start drawing. Over time, I learned. Like I still work with only one brush. I have one brush that was a preset.
Oh wow,
it was a preset 24 brush that I set to pen pressure, and the opacity the same. I think, but it gives me the feel as if I was working in like watercolor and pencil. So. It took me a while to get used to it. And the only reason why I started working digitally is when I first got my job at Fox Animation working on Family Guy, and they were completely digital. And so that was my first job and my first taste of working on a digital tablet. Right up until then, doing development work on pencil and paper, like old school. And so like when I work digitally, I just work on one layer, and that'll be like my first. I'll do my pencil sketch on one layer, then I'll create another layer, and then if I'm doing like a black and white tonal value, I'll create that. I don't use Alt Z much. I don't use a lot of the tools. A lot of people thought that I used like the transform tool when I started doing caricature work, and I found that insulting.
You mean to modify the proportions? They're saying.
Yeah, people always thought I was using the transform tool, and I'm like, no, I draw this right out of my.
No, I could tell just by looking at it. You're not.
And so I try to paint, even though I'm painting digitally. I try to paint in a manner of. You get like, whenever you see my prints, you have a traditional feel to it, see there's a perfect example of
Hitchcock.
These are amazing, absolutely amazing.
Let me bring it back.
So how do you?
Wow,
that's so. David, I always find the answers to this question interesting. How do you know when the piece is done?
That's a good question. There's some pieces where I've actually gone and painted the whole thing, and there would have been a step, maybe the last step that I liked before I finished painting it, and that's the beauty of it. This is the only time that I would ever admit to that. But you can go back a step and go, actually, I liked it like this, and so I didn't finish it. Like the Hitchcock one, I didn't. That I knew when to finish it. Nice. For two reasons. I didn't have good reference for the rest of his wing to paint, so I just kind of cheated it and just kind of blurred it and just left it the way it is, and it worked out. The Indiana Jones one is a traditional drawing.
Okay.
But yeah, there's my steps there. So I'll start doing. If you watch, I started learning that technique by watching Sebastian Kruger and Drew Struzan. They work monochromatically first, and then they start painting color over their black and whites. I never took illustration in college, so I never knew some of these. I mean, I have a lot of books on like Norman Rockwell. He would work the same way. He would actually project photographs onto his canvas, have assistants trace it, and then he would paint it later.
Cool.
Yeah, Addy Granoff is another one that does all the gray tone values, and then he'll go over in acrylic.
Yeah, I love his work. He's great.
Wow.
Yeah, I stopped doing caricature work because I kind of got bored of it after a while. And I also,
you have to love what you're doing.
Yeah,
especially if you're an artist.
Yeah. I also did my
that's cool.
pigeonholed into like being the caricature guy. It's like
nice.
I love that.
Wow.
It's something that I did on the side, and I'm very like I sold most of my work all over the world now, and into countries that I've never even heard of. So I don't do limited editions or anything like that. I just like people like my work, come and buy it. That's great. I have over 300 pieces. A lot of my fans and friends have often wanted me to do a book so that you can have all my artwork like as a coffee table book.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
That would be cool.
Well, that was my plan after I did my Star Wars, started doing the Star Wars stuff. I wasn't really going to do prints at first. I was going to wait and continue to see how much time I had over the year or two, and see how many paintings I could do and see if I had enough to fill a book.
Joe Lewis's ass.
What's that?
Coming to America. He beat Joe Lewis's ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the realism on these guys are amazing,
you can tell who it is, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like without question, you're like, oh, that's totally, you know, it's awesome.
Hey, David, is your Wampa print for sale yet?
Not yet. I haven't finished it yet.
God, I love that.
I haven't finished it I have to do some small detailing before I can print it. Like I did a test print and I didn't quite like how it came out.
Okay.
I have one. I have a bunch of stuff in my flat file.
All right. Last question, because I know I'm dominating the questions, but do you render CMYK or RGB, David? Because obviously when you print, you got to go convert to CMYK, but what do you...
Moments.
RGB?
Yeah.
So that's sometimes where you got to spend a little time, right, when you're converting prior to print, just to make sure your colors are outputting the way you want.
Yeah, well, I print out of. Where is it?
Let's see that Wampa. Yeah.
I was printing. I'm not a very tech savvy.
Look at that! Blow him up. That's so
amazing. Oh wow!
I am getting that print.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome.
I'm not a very tech savvy guy, but even though I make all my prints here at the house, so whenever anything is not working, I at first that's one of the reasons why I never sold my original Star Wars paintings, is because they weren't. I was printing out of the wrong app. I wasn't printing out of Photoshop, and I wanted to print out of Photoshop. And when I figured that out, all my colors came together, and it took me weeks and weeks and weeks to figure out, and I couldn't understand why they weren't printing what I painted. And sometimes you got to worry about actually how bright your monitor is as well. Yeah. So I had to calibrate my monitor. I had to make sure that the what I'm painting is actually what I am seeing, because if I go from my tablet here to my desktop, sometimes it would change drastically. It would be a lot darker, and that's what the problem I was having. It was printing out really dark, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was trying to go in and go into like the contrast and trying to push some of the color back. It was a hell of a time. And that's the only thing I do not like about painting digitally. But I mean, someday it's hard for me now. It's so funny, either whether or not I'm sculpting or I'm drawing. The occasion when I use Alt Z or whatever it is, Alt Z, I'll be sculpting and I'll be like, oh shit, I gotta actually fix this and tear it apart and not just undo it. So, but I absolutely love painting and drawing digitally. I'm so glad I got over my fear. There's nothing like pencil on paper, hands down. But because of my schedule and I'm so busy doing shit, that this is the most fun. I can think quickly on my feet. and I can execute it quickly. And that's the only drawback is, I mean, I was always fast at traditional means, but the speed on the working digitally is just it's leaps and bounds, and I love it. But the only thing is, again, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah. But I know a lot of artists that had that same heartache.
Say that again?
No, I was saying I know so many artists that had that challenge when they converted to digital because they were just rendering RGB, which is you've got such a wide color gamut that you can't reproduce in print. So you go to print your final piece, and the reproduction just wasn't matching what you had on screen.
Sure, yeah, yeah. It's there's always the pros and cons to everything.
You gotta have the color theory worked out prior to outputting the print.
As long as you're printing in the format that you're painting in, then that's not a problem. So, and that's the only way I know how to do it. I've never had to convert to anything. I've never had to go to CMYK.
I think though your advantage is being a traditional painter. You know the color values that you want to achieve, and they're probably more traditional media, which
sure, yeah. I know, that much I do know, the only there's so many downfalls. I wish to God I could I figured maybe I could if there was a way to get an original in to do an original, or what would be considered an original painting, because so many people want an original from me.
Right.
And it's and I'm like, well, number one, it would be thousands of dollars. Number two, I work digitally, so I would basically have to paint it, if they're okay with that, paint it and then destroy the file. Yeah. So I can't print anything else.
I remember Brian Boland talked about that when he converted to purely tablet production. He said, supplemental revenue for him was selling his original art. The line work, and then that was gone. But he was picking it up by doing more work because he could be faster using a tablet going full digital.
Sure, yeah. It's and a lot of us. I don't know. My friend Simone refuses to work digitally. He's a character designer and development artist for several of the. I've known him for almost 30 years, 25 years maybe. I've known him since we were kids at Warner Brothers, and he to this day will refuse. He's from Venezuela or no, wait.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean's right. That's the thing that I've seen people run into is that conversion. When they go to print at CMYK from starting RGB, just throws the color value.
Oh yeah.
Totally out the neck.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's part of. I ran into that previously, like I just said, but it wasn't that. It wasn't specifically that. It was the format of whatever app I have on my computer, which is, I can't remember now. I can't remember the name of it, but I wasn't printing out of Photoshop is what the problem was. And, but yeah, so some people who are used to printing may know more than I. It's not somewhat of my wheelhouse.
Well, that's kind of where I started, was in the print houses, and you go in.
And there you go.
And they got the monitor covers, which are neutral gray, so they get no ambient light on their screen. It was just intense. It's a lot of it's come a long way. We go to that level anymore. But
it's ironically because I switched computers. I used to work on a Hewlett, like a PC. And when I bought my Apple, because everyone in the industry now uses Apple, and so I bought my my desktop Apple, and at first I didn't know how to use anything, and everything that I used to use or was used to with all my settings and everything that I'm used to working in, it was I did not have a good time. I was back and forth with like online people trying, and like I said, I'm not a tech guy, so I didn't know the translation.
David,
like,
the only thing you need to know is how to delete your history. That's really good.
there you go.
That's all you need to know.
So at any rate,
Pornhub, get rid of that.
And embrace self-discovery, right, Scott?
Yeah, no, that's shower. That's
So
shower when you.
let's
find
talk
things.
about some of the stuff that David's worked on, like this.
Wow,
Yeah. Love
That's
it.
terrible.
so
dude, that I'm sorry, but I
Well,
like that better. I like that
a lot
better.
of the stuff I don't want to I don't want to insult
Losing?
anybody.
You have a different perspective when you're creating a piece.
I didn't machine the parts, put it that way.
Oops.
I got them from I used the machine parts from
Is that like A&J or?
yes.
Okay.
And then I rebuilt it from scratch.
I love that.
Oh, that's right. You tore it apart. Yeah.
Yeah,
sort
you know,
of part.
proportionally, this looks to me reads more right to my eye.
And even at that, at this, I used their undershell, but I broke most of their undershell because the tooth was laying on top of the triangle and not within the triangle. So that was one of the problems I was having with their mask, or the design of what they've done. I also went and bought like a cotton strip. I dyed it. It was too light. So I dyed it, and then I did a spray adhesive, and started doing the wraps. So I would just spray using the spray. I think it was 97. It's an adhesive that I would just wrap it around, and then I would kind of map it out to kind of like the design of what I was going to do first before I did anything, just so I can get my pattern down, and then started wrapping it around the head. And then once I got it on the head, then I used some of my I used a watered down burnt umber paint, watercolor paint, to get to stain the wrap. But the mouth part, the darker part of the mouth is like an elastic pleather kind of thing that I got off of Etsy. The leather I found on Etsy as well. A guy that makes, I think, belts and stuff, or a leather worker. Was the perfect color, and same with the pleather shit around his mouth. So yeah, it was a fun build. I built one back in 1998 as well from scratch.
Wow.
From a Jason mask. I used a Jason mask, and then I went the eyes I used. I don't know if you know, like the old. It was kind of like the old 70s rubber ends that you put on a chair from scraping the floor.
Yeah.
So I cut because they had this exact same shape, but I cut the bottom out, and then I used them for the eyes, the tusks, the from the cheekbones. I went into a hardware store and found some sort of plumbing bit, and there was actually threads at the end that I sanded down. And it worked perfectly. And then the horns I used, they were wooden, but they were small little hooks that you would hook a hat on, and I cut the ends off.
Nice.
And they were the perfect size, the perfect shape, and I stuck those in. and then the tusk or the tooth, I should call it, for the mouth, I sculpted in Sculpey, and I wish I had a photograph of it because it was actually, it felt closer to the on model than this one does. And I used plastic or what's the paper mache glue. So I used the strips. I would take the strips of cloth, run it through paper mache, and I ran it over a styrofoam head. But everything else I attached to the Jason mask.
So
I
thought you Canadians would call a Jason mask either a hockey mask or a goalie mask.
Well, yeah, okay, goalie mask, but I bought specifically the Halloween mask of Jason.
Jason, yeah.
So that's why I call it the Halloween mask.
I totally get it.
That's funny.
That's what I use for my Jawa.
Yes.
And it was very comfortable to wear because it was because it was a nice smooth surface, so that when you put it on, I had padding inside the interior, so I wouldn't scrape because it was all, like I said, once the paper mache hardened, it would like kind of cut into your neck. So, but it was the original wrappings are a little bit of a khaki green. They're not brown, and so if I ever did another one, I think I would probably go in. There's always things that I would always fix and change, and for this is the second one I think I did. I think I tore apart another one that I bought. Some guy I had made it from Toronto, another guy from Etsy, and I didn't like what he did, so I tore that apart. So,
well, it's funny because when they were making this stuff for the film, especially Star Wars, they're in a rush, they're on a budget, they just need to do it, get it kicked out. Nobody's looking at it and going, does it, the color? They don't care. It's whatever it is.
Again, a lot of people are talking about screen accuracy, and I'm not going to bash anybody that likes screen accuracy. However, my collection reflects what I think looks good.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't need lineage, and I don't need screen accuracy.
Original archive scans.
But people will spend possibly years and things like that trying to get something exact. The fold on that cloth has to be exactly like this, and it's
I'm not that anal.
But it's funny that when they were making these things, they were just throwing it together to get it on film for 30 seconds, could care less,
Yeah.
And we get all hung up in it. It's got to look exactly like this. But I totally understand what you're saying, where it has to look right to you.
Well, sometimes, sometimes. I'm in the business, so I sometimes know. When I see, I've gotten stuff or seen stuff that's screen accurate, and it looks like shit. And you go again to your point. You don't know how. For instance, I know we'll talk about Andor in a few minutes, I'm sure later on. But recently they used which is obviously a Kodak camera.
Right.
I was thinking oh shit, that must have been off the call list, or they forgot it. Oh shit, last minute, we need a gadget for them to play with. And some guy just went, oh, okay, well, let's use this.
I got this old Polaroid.
Yeah, we'll use this last minute. So
I think too, with a lot of the props and the models, they weren't expecting for them to be scrutinized up close.
Sure, absolutely not.
They didn't have
and film wasn't 4K back then.
Yeah,
and other stuff.
Again,
real quick, we got a Solo Bones thing, different styles, different levels of anal. How would you say that?
Anality.
I got stuck on anal, so for different artists.
But that's what I'm saying.
Apologies.
It's they weren't closing up like you are here with this piece. Where everything there was things that could be forgiven on camera that you weren't going to pick up, that there were gaps or that there was lack of sculpting or detail.
Right.
You look at some of those real props today, and you're like, wow, that looks terrible.
Yep. They were in a rush. So
whatever looks good and whatever feels good in my hands. That's the type of stuff that I like.
Yeah.
I can think of many things, but yeah.
Maybe what did you sculpt this out of?
clay. It's about 40 pounds of clay.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And it's still sitting back there.
I love that.
Yeah, he was
And
working
like,
on it one day.
and like
when he was
this
on
never
this.
gets totally solid, right?
This it never gets solid. It never hardens. So
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to have this cast. I'm not much of a mold maker, and to make this takes some skill and effort. And
it's like a 3 or 4 part mold, maybe 5.
Yeah, exactly. With all the undercuts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let me know, man.
Oh yeah,
I do that. I make molds for a living.
I'll send that to you. I'm sure it'll cost like $500 through the mail.
Yeah,
It'd be cheaper just to fly J2SO out there.
Yeah, it would probably show up much flatter too, right? Like ding, 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 ding.
This is like my 5th or 6th version of it. I tore this apart because there's not very good pictures of it, and I took artistic liberty to some of it for the texturing and stuff. There's some good photos that his rendition did. Tom Spina did. But for the most part, this is there's 2 different versions or a couple of versions of this, as far as I know. Maybe there could be more. I don't know. But there's like the Snaggletooth in the original trilogy, and then there's the one that he did, which is the one I'm basing this on, which is the one for the holiday special. And there's a little bit more detail, but it's still not quite right. I can tell just looking at these pictures that it's amazing how it needs hair. That's for one thing, but there's a few tweaks that I need to do, but I've never seen the thing in 3D, so I'm guessing a lot of things look disproportionate in photographs, and depending on the lighting and the detail and stuff, it's sometimes hard to capture.
Looks damn good to me.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to mention. Like, I think there's such a thing as like the eye of the artist, right? And somebody like me who doesn't have that, I look at that and let me drink real quick. I look at that and I recognize that it's Snaggletooth, and I can't sit there and imagine in my mind how you can see these alterations that create more perfection for you. It's just a cool thing that you have.
Well, again, it's I am trying to. It's not, even though I'm going to be a hypocrite. I don't go for screen accuracy, but I'm going for screen likeness. If that makes any sense.
It does.
And I can see that likeness is slightly off, and it's something that if I ever get the time, I'll go back to it, and I might alter it and do like this is what I often do. I blow pictures up of the best photographs I can get from all different angles, whether I'm painting or I'm sculpting. This is kind of what I do. So that these pictures are on big sheets of paper like this, so I can see as much detail as I can, and unfortunately, I would love to put hair on this guy, but it's going to have to wait until I have someone make molds of it.
I want to see that. I want to talk about that Vader you just showed.
Oh, the Vader. So this came about, I think, over a year and a half ago. There's a guy called Lord James. It was a random thing that someone posted on, I can't remember. There's so many groups out there that I can't remember. And it was just the helmet. And it was like the last one of the run. And he was trying to sell it for like, I think I ended up paying like $85 or $120 for it. Something like that. It was like the last one. He just wanted to get rid of it.
Wow.
So I bought it. I was like, oh, fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've always wanted the Macquarie EFX one. So, but that by the time I found out, it's so weird because before I got into collecting, a friend of mine told me about the EFX helmet back when they were going to sell it, and it was out of sight, out of mind, and I was going to buy it even though I wasn't collecting back then. and of course I didn't get a chance to buy it because I completely forgot about it. And years go by, and then this popped up, and since it was going for a fortune, I liked this sculpt so much. So I bought it, and I originally painted it matte black, which I thought looked really cool.
Oh, sure.
And then someone mentioned we were talking about the color, and I know Lee had his, and so I was looking for an automotive thing online on Amazon, and I was going through all the different colors, and Lee came across the paint and of the color shift, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, because it was in the ballpark of what I was looking for, and it was also the cans were cheap. At the time, it was a lot cheaper than what I was looking at, so I bought it just purely on the price. And so I brought it home, and it was a kit, by the way. I had to put it together. I had to glue the eyes in. I had to do a little bit of trimming and sanding and whatnot, and then I did it. After I painted it matte black, I painted it the color shift, and everybody went crazy over it except for a few. And I think I decided after a few days I wanted to go back to the matte black, and I picked it up and I dropped it.
Oh, damn!
So, and it chipped. It chipped on the on part of the helmet and on the base of the neck. So so I had to buy another one. And this time around, I had a guy paint it for me, but I also asked him to do a coating, like a finish on it,
like a top coat,
gloss finish on it. So So he painted that, and then in the process of doing all of this, James reached out and said, "Hey man, I have the breastplate and the shoulder bells. Do you want that?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, of course.
So I bought those. We had them sent to Canada. This guy Curtis in Canada was painting it for me, and so it was a long process. It was like this is like over a span of like 8, 9 months. Wow. This was going over back and forth because then unfortunately his wife passed of COVID, and he ended up having to move. And long story short, he finally sent it to me, and so it's beautiful. It's like amazing. It's like I even actually like it better than the FX one now. So,
it's so custom, you know.
Yeah. So I built the bust. Every bust that I build now, it's based. I use the microphone stand base.
I was going to ask if that's what that was. That looks awesome.
Yeah. So they're pretty cheap. They were $20 a pop, and it's heavy wrought iron.
Yeah.
Metal. So your whatever you're building, it's not going to move. And then the base itself.
Yeah, this is my kind of porn right now.
Is this thing right here?
Right when that scene was going on.
Oh, okay. So you're getting that from
where? I drill a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I cut, depending on how big my bust is going to be. I'll cut the pipe. And
that's porn moment right there.
Flop it over.
Well, they also make little stands like that for bass drums, right? So the actual mic stand is not that tall. It's 20 inches tall tops or something.
Yeah.
There's a bust going on over here. I'll tell you that. Looking at these.
So then I had to build the. Go back to the photograph
picture.
I had to build out the shoulders and with foam.
Mm-hmm.
So I used reticulated foam that I use for my Muppet building, and I just basically did I cut out, designed a pattern so that the shoulders would go out. They were more form fitting to what the actual piece was, so that it would fit it nice, snug against the actual plate of the chest armor, and then the chest armor, I overlaid just black felt. I just laid over black felt over the reticulated foam, and then attached Velcro to the shoulder bells and the chest plate, so that I can now just so it doesn't go anywhere, so it stays in place with Velcro. And the cape I had to adapt. I bought a black cape. Now, I wasn't originally. I wasn't sure how to attach that would look good. I also didn't know what color I was going to get. I bought a few navy blue, like dark black navy blue capes, but it didn't quite work, and so I just decided to go with black, and I think it looks quite good.
That's like a satin black almost, huh?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I love this piece.
Dude, that's my favorite rendition of Vader. So I'm glad to see you did one. That's so cool.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't like it. That's okay.
No, I love it.
They were like, "What the fuck is it purple for?" And
as long as you like it,
because it's purple. That's why it's purple.
I think it's badass.
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was off the Macquarie, the original painting that I drew inspiration from the original painting that he did. Yeah, it just looks really cool.
What's the height on that, David?
It is well, from the base to the top of the head, I would say it's about 3 feet.
Oh yeah.
And it's about 28 inches wide.
Yeah.
All right, just get J2SO2 worked up.
What's that?
So you're getting J2SO2 worked up on the measurements.
He's like,
this is my thing. I love these custom busts. I make a few busts, but these are better than the ones I make, so this is exciting.
Yeah, this is. I mean, Curtis did an amazing paint job on it, and it looks so good. I mean, whoever, I don't even know the artist's name. He wouldn't tell me the artist's name. Who actually did the sculpt of it? But it did an amazing job. I made and put all this together for $600.
Dude,
wow,
that's killer.
That is awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing that I tend to do. Like, if you notice the
that's awesome.
Burrito.
Eben, that's Eben from last week.
Yeah, there you go.
Eben.
Well, Eben, I gave Eben the guy that I found this guy on Etsy, who did this beautiful rendition of Burrito and the hands. And
so fucking cool.
His name is Troy Larson.
Troy Larson, okay.
And he no longer. Well, he hasn't been on Etsy for a while. I think he does a lot of studio work, but he'll pop up every now and then. But he closed his shop up. Evan has the same Burrito.
My wife of all people would love that.
Well, I began doing this, and most of the things that I start is because I'm pissed off that I can't obtain the actual one.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's way too expensive. So I said, screw that. I'll
make
one
my
just
own.
like
Yeah.
And it'll be half the price. So
you know what I think really makes these pieces, David, and it's something like what we saw last week with Solo Bones, is the pose and just the natural situation in proportions to the figure.
Mm-hmm.
You've just got the way everything lays from the arms to the neck pose. I mean, there's just kind of a natural.
I think that's my animation skills coming in, because everything that I do is layered in through my traditional.
It's not posture. It's not, I can't think of the right.
It just looks right,
Yeah, it does.
It looks natural. It looks natural.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing too is that you doing it, David, that again, you know how you want it to look, and you put it together, and it's amazing.
In anything that you do, as far as an artist, and I tell students this all the time, is you work your way in. So you start with the overall silhouette first, and don't worry about the details until the end. So you work your way from out to inward, and
block in the shapes. Yeah,
exactly. And you make all your mistakes up in the beginning, and therefore you're not having to redo stuff. But most of this stuff is like prototype. So I'm kind of like what you're seeing is the end result. I screwed this up probably 10 times over before I would ever show any pictures. And that's another thing that I tend not to do because everyone has an opinion. And
of course.
And so I would rather it be my vision than someone else's. And,
well, I think this can put the debate to rest with that pose right there that we know Han did indeed shoot first. Look how
Let's talk about some Muppets.
Yeah, man.
So again, I started actually before I started collecting Star Wars. I started collecting Muppets, and a guy, an old Jim Henson fabricator. I reached out to him. He's in New Jersey, but I shortly found out he doesn't have a very good reputation, or didn't. Maybe he does today. I don't know, but he was taking forever to make my. I would pay him all up front. That's the only way he would work. And then you would hope to get your puppet, but he does amazing work. But I just got annoyed at how long it took him. So I was like, screw this, I could probably do it myself. And after I had my own from him, I knew how he sort of built them. Then I went online on YouTube and started learning how to, because it's a different type of sculpting. It's topology. So you're taking a flat piece of foam and cutting it to make a shape, right? So all of this is all done by eye. I never measured anything. One of the tricks that I do is I try to figure out how big the eye is first, and then I measure from there. And then that's how my increment of measurement is. That's how I figured out how to do my Jawa. My Jawa was I figured out how big the eyes were, or I figured out how big the bandolier was on the Jawa, and I just built it out from there. But most of this stuff, there was a guy named Adam Krutinger. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. He is amazing, and he goes from start to finish on all his on how to make a Muppet and watching his videos.
Must be some cats out there. Scott, where'd you go?
Special guest. Yeah, he keeps jumping on the keyboard, so sorry.
Well, so I bet learning how to make the Muppets is how you scored and mastered this one.
I love that one.
I had some leftover fur, and I was going through my books, and I was like, you know what, I think I have, because I couldn't figure out what Muppet to make. And then when I was going through, I was like, wait a second, I got fur like this.
Make a Star Wars Muppet.
And I can make a Star Wars bust. So
I have a whole bunch of that.
Love it, man.
The big eyes on the bottom are clear Christmas bells.
Oh, clever.
Yeah. Wow.
And the top eyes are from an Etsy animal taxidermist dude on Etsy.
Cool.
But the pattern started from I made an Oscar the Grouch, and he sort of has the same sort of shape. And so I kind of modified my Oscar the Grouch template and to fit this. Now I don't think he's not life size. I mean, he's life size, but he's not to scale. I think the real one is much larger than I made. But he's pretty big, and he's biggest, if not bigger than Chewie. So.
Whoa, wow.
Now, is this something you measure, or do you take kind of like a visual?
Again, I just do it. I figured out how big the balls are of the eyes, and then kind of went and
got some big old nuts, that's for sure.
Yeah, how big his balls are. And,
measure per balls.
But yeah, that's how I kind of do my measurements.
Talking about balls.
Balls, how big your balls are.
Dude, this piece, this is probably my favorite.
So,
love the dumpiness of it.
Wow.
So Sean Gonzalez and I started working on this a long time ago.
Genius he is with
he started like his version of what he thinks a Jawa like is he likes the little people, little person Jawa, whereas I like the more childlike, the kid proportion. So we both got. There's a woman called Mother of Jawas on Facebook that does costumes. So we reached out to her, and I was adamant about the size of the hood, and I find that most people screw up the size of the hood. It's always too small. So again, I did measurements and figured out it's about approximately 22 inches based on a 51 inch. What it's on is a mannequin. It's on a mannequin, like a child mannequin, like it's fully posable. So it's like a
36 inch.
It's like it's a 52 inch.
Oh, 52 inch. Oh, damn.
51 inch. Yeah, it's like I don't know. Yeah, it's about 51 inches. The size of a 7-year-old kid. Or it might be it's 48 inches. Sorry, and yeah, it's fully posable. And
that's so cool.
We found Sean found these. Again, we measured the eyes. I mean, we went back and forth on how big the eyes were. Some are like an inch and a quarter, I think. But these particular ones are an inch in diameter, and they're remote controlled. So I drilled into the skull and placed them in there, so I can anytime I need to replace the batteries, I can just unscrew it.
That's cool.
And it's pretty easy to do. But the rest is all leather work from genuine leather stuff from. I think, World War II bandolier, like the bandoliers and stuff.
That's awesome.
They were about $50. This particular build, same with the Greedo, I think was under around $1,300 or $1,400 cost me.
Wow.
Each of those builds. But I mean, when you look at, buying a Greedo bust from Sideshow
for $3 or $4 now, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Shoulders up and that's it.
Yeah.
Man, I love that. I think that's the same bandolier I used for my Tuscan. It was like $50. Some World War II one my buddy had found.
Yeah, I bought I bought another one actually. There's two different ones. One that I used for my Tuscan.
Dude. Oh,
yeah, that bottom one's the one I have on my Tuscan. But I like. Where did you get the top one, the darker leather ones? Because those.
That one I got on eBay for
Those are
50. I think it was like $58.
Okay, because that's like a Tuscan thing.
Yeah, that's a Tuscan one.
I love that. I need to get one of those.
But I was looking through the books and they used a mixed and match. So I wanted something a little different, not the same. So I ended up buying another one, which is what you see there. And I used the other one for my Tuscan bust.
Man.
I love that pose. That's my
the
favorite
shape of the hood, everything, man. That point, that's so cool.
Perfect.
Just even the way
you got finger articulation.
That's what I was about to say. Like just the sheer detail in the hand, which most people don't pay attention to.
I also weathered. I ripped it up and I weathered the bottom. I used spray paint, sanded like a textured sand colored spray paint. I sprayed the bottom of it and roughed it up on the hood. And
hey,
stuff.
David, no gun for him?
I do have a gun. Yeah, it's from
Joel was hoping to make a sale.
No, I was going to help him out.
It's heavy as hell. It's the same one, I think. I can't remember who bought them or who makes them, but it's that one there.
Oh, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, that might be the Blaster Factory one.
Yeah, it's Blaster Factory, exactly. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's better than I can do.
It's
it has like working parts and everything. That's totally his thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the World War. It's the World War One.
Yeah, they cut off the
yeah.
The
yeah, it looks like an Enfield.
Now DID
flamethrower. No,
actually, Dragon and Dream actually did a 1/6 scale version of that, and it's wood, and I think that's what Solo Bones always used.
Wow.
They're kind of spendy, but I'm gonna pick a couple up.
So yeah,
that is cool.
Oop.
Badass artist lamp made by a man who kept touching his hair.
Let's look at one more thing, and then we'll switch over to. Let's look at two more things, and then we'll switch
two
over.
more.
A lot more we should look at.
So many choices.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Look at this guy.
So awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
yeah. I built that. I got the gargoyles are from Tom's. They're the that's the most expensive thing on the
The Regal Robot towel holders.
Oh, towel holders, yeah.
$70 a piece. $80 a piece.
Yeah.
Oh,
The rest of it was made for under $100.
Whoa! How'd you do that?
I bought you know the it's like real cheap wood that you get like art wood that you can make.
Balsa wood.
Yeah, it's like
light as can be.
Yeah, it's like really light, and it comes in. I think it was 12 by 12 squares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I bought enough to make a box, six panels, and I built a box. And then I took cement filler, the cement filler for your driveway.
Yeah.
And I just went over the box with cement filler. Let
Nice.
it dry. And then as it's drying, I created the cracks. And then when it's all set, and it's hard, it's heavy. But again, it's a nice base, so a weighted base to hold. I had to drill a hole in the top because the Salacious Sideshow has like an anchor point, like a I don't know,
like a post or something.
Post that comes out that goes into the base. So
he has a dome.
Yeah, and then the rest I just painted. I just took my acrylics out and painted it. Nice. I saw different colors. There's like some pictures that look gray, like the Jabba's. Some that look kind of gray green, and I wanted something. Again, I didn't go with screen accuracy. I went with something that's color harmony. And I wanted something that would complement the piece.
Oh, it looks in universe, man. It looks good.
And so I went with the darker brown, so it would make Salacious pop.
Mm-hmm.
And I found the gray, like the light gray that was I think Tom used for his. It just I don't know. I just felt that this made it pop more. And
which Salacious is this, David?
Did you do the gargoyles?
The Regal Robot one.
Oh, Regal Robot. Okay.
That's what I originally. I mean, I was originally planning to do this when I bought this from Gabe. Actually,
this a Sideshow one or the Regal Robot one?
It's a Regal.
This is the Sideshow one.
Okay.
And I bought this from Gabe. I get all of Gabe's hand me downs.
Yes, I see.
He's my big Star Wars brother.
So the Sideshow one came with Kirk's signature, or is that something he
No, I called Kirk up and said, "Hey, dude, can you
sign this?
Can you sign
this?
Can you sign ones for us?" And
congrats to Kirk on his show that came out today too. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I met Kirk I think over 10 years ago, or 9 years ago. It was our anniversary recently. I was I met him at Comic-Con, and I had a booth there back in 2013, and he came up to my one of my best-selling pieces was my Jim Henson with Kermit, and he came up with his captain hat and his big flowery shirt, and
Yep.
I thought I recognized him from somewhere, but I couldn't picture where. And I remember seeing him as one of the judges on the Jim Henson Hour, or the Jim Henson Creature show that they had on, I think it was on, I can't remember what TV show it was on. I just recognized him, and we got to talking, and he bought some of my prints, and then he ended up actually referring me, and I got a job doing for a job for the Creature Shop, based on his connection, and I caricatured the 3 CEOs of Nintendo for a spot that they did for the gaming convention back in 2015. It's on YouTube. The thing. So I had to caricature all 3 of the CEOs for a Muppet build. So all my worlds came together. It was weird.
That's sweet.
Yeah, for that particular gig anyway. So yeah, it's like all the stars aligned. But yeah, that was a fun little build. And I just bought the leather for the top of the box online, and then just cut it, to look ratty, and kind of I stomped on it, and took it outside, ran it in the gravel and the dirt.
That is so funny. That's what I do with all my sand Tuscan Raider outfits.
Yeah, it's just the best way to do it, to weather it, is to bring it outside.
That's the best way. Run it over a few times.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
Did you do anything to this? Oh, you weathered.
Yeah, this is my hijack of this is the sideshow.
Man.
Where I cut up the sideshow and made it into a
just the head pose is so much better though.
Yeah, David, I've been thinking about doing this for like 3 years. I'm still afraid to cut up a.
Yeah,
you just have to take the plunge, dude.
Yeah,
it just looks so much better at a different angle.
Yeah.
It's I got annoyed, and then I found out that Hot Toys was coming out with one, so I got the Hot Toys one as well. But
this one's better than Hot Toys in my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
I agree.
The hands.
If you can get it to pose like this, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I did the legs on mine too.
Yeah, the Mon Calamari mask.
Yeah, that guy's badass. Cable net sweater.
Yeah, I love that one.
I'm fixing to do a 1/6 scale on that one. He's in the back corner over there.
Nice.
I can make it fly.
Yeah.
Can't wait till your Yoda's finished, David. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, I've been back and forth with that with Philip, working with Philip. I've often I sculpted one back in '96, and I've never had a really good reference when I did that one. And then when I found out that Philip had done one to fulfill that gap in my life since 1996, or actually since 1983 or 1980, when Yoda first came out, I often wanted to make a puppet, and so I grabbed his, and I thought it could again. It wasn't in the mind's eye of what I would do, so I stripped it down and repainted it, and used. Oh
wow,
that's beautiful.
Look at that. That
is awesome.
So cool,
dude. You even made the shipper box a work of art.
Oh, that one there, yeah. That's I didn't. This one, that particular one, was made by. That's the Randy Cooper kit, and it was assembled and painted by John Eblin. And I'm not much of a model maker. I've never have been. Obviously, I'm more into the creature stuff. But and I'm also not an electronic guy. So when I met John back at Celebration through Joseph, and I had the kit sitting in my box collecting dust, I talked to him and I contracted him to do this for me. And so yeah, the box. I obviously I'm running out of room in here, so I used I used the box as a base that it came in. So I stained the box and made the box the
Yeah, that
base.
was awesome.
So that he just sent me it's just,
Oh man,
it's
so
just
cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of my favorite ships in Star Wars, believe it or not.
This is the same John that was at the Collection Wars Lee's birthday
Yes,
thing, right?
Exactly.
Great dude. Yeah, I got to talk to him for a while.
Really?
Really, really nice guy. Yeah.
He used to work for
Artist.
he worked all on the prequels, I think,
Yep.
or
ILM.
some of them at least anyway.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so so I have an ILMer. I mean, both of them, I think. Randy Cooper. It's Randy Cooper's kit, and then it was assembled and painted in electronics done by John Evans. So
Evan,
you get
Evan showed a quick picture of that black chrysanthemum. That black chrysanthemum is
what's that?
The black chrysanthemum bust.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
you want
looking
to see
for
that?
it.
Do I have that?
I don't think you sent me a picture of
It
that
was in
one.
a previous photo, Evan, that you had up.
Well, I can show you right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just see it in person, baby.
Yeah, he's like, here, let me just grab it.
Wow,
There it
thanks
is.
for the
Even
screen.
better.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Man,
The eyes on that thing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
He's so big, man.
That guy's
Menacing.
He's gonna
And he
beat
just looks
your ass.
pissed
That's
off.
cool.
yeah.
They
Yeah, 'cause
captured
through
his
the show was
personality.
cool.
Yeah.
Phenomenal
So-
job, dude.
So I talked to Nathan when he first put this up. I wanted it immediately, but it was just the mask, and so I asked him if he could pretend he was making a suit, but just do it and cut it off at the chest. And then I asked him to send me the parts of the mask, so I'm not using the mask and destroying the mask, so I could sculpt the eyes and use them. I used the insides of the mask as a template, and so the cutouts of the template, I could insert whatever I sculpted inside, so that the eyes are not sitting way back in the skull.
Right.
So I push them out as if you were wearing it really realistically. I'd like to get them a little closer. These are just
Hello.
oh, that's weird. Must be a UPS.
Black chrysanthemum's wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
So these are
You don't want them too flush. You do want them inset a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. But these particular eyes that I did are temporary. I'm having real ones made, and I'm going to re-sculpt them and make them make
those are just the
holdover eyes. Yeah.
yeah.
Those are the temps until
Those are
they
terrible.
find another Wookiee and get his eyes out.
Yeah.
The in-between eyes.
So anyway,
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
awesome.
sweet. That was sweet.
I think, thanks, David, for sharing your
man.
art,
Impressive.
your
Most
your
impressive.
collection.
You're a
Absolutely
stud,
worth
dude.
of art.
what's that?
You're a stud.
Joe, you're a stud.
I've got all this shit behind me, and I just like look at your stuff, and I'm like, I wish I was in that room right now.
Yeah, me
And
too.
I've got
Mine's just life size.
Yeah, I was about to say,
right?
you
That's
guys
what
are
it
the
does
same
for me.
thing. It's just
I
different
like-
scale.
That's all it is.
So, guys, let's talk Andor, episode 5.
Andor?
Andor. So we're gonna spoil the hell out of it. So if you haven't seen it, here's your warning.
3,
Right.
2, 1.
Okay.
Dude,
All right,
you
guys.
haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
Dude, this
What
this
the
week,
hell is wrong with you?
this week chewed me up and spat me out.
Uh-huh. That was a tough week.
I saw it late yesterday, or what was today? Friday? I saw it late Wednesday. Like the
So
last
Jason,
couple
basically
episodes,
what
I
happened is
watched
there's this
tons.
guy and there's this green hill and there's this thing and then they look at this and then the credits come up.
Scott, just answer one question: is Jar Jar in it?
No.
Yes.
Yes, he's a relic.
Yes.
In
He's a relic.
Layton's shop.
Yes.
And they didn't have the Gungan shield in there, so
They should have.
This is true.
All right, so episode 5, The Axe Forgets. That's the title. It was directed by Susanna White, written by Dan Gilroy. So on the Aldani, the planet, the group is still, well, there's one person that doesn't like Clem, still doesn't trust him. So he goes out of his way to prove that Clem is a liar, and he's there for a different reason. And then we also get a chance to explore Cyril's life, where he also has blue milk in his apartment, and he eats some
gangster
Captain Crunch cereal.
No, it was Boo Berries. It was Boo Berries.
Yeah, man, that was definitely Boo Berries.
Come on.
StarWars.com actually shows you how to make it. They actually have a video on how to make that cereal, which is pretty cool.
On Instagram.
I'm shocked that they're not bringing it out in like Walmart or something.
Oh, they
right.
Oh, they will.
You know,
they will.
They'll put Grogu in the packaging though.
Yeah,
They'll sell better.
Yeah.
We see a CW special of Mon Mothma and her family having kid problems.
Yeah.
And then we get to see some backstory on Lieutenant Gorn, which I thought that was pretty cool. You know,
I like his espionage type stuff.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So what do you guys think about this episode so far? We'll start, with Boudreau.
Hands down, this is the. I'm probably not gonna. You guys are not gonna share the same. This is the best Star Wars series.
Yeah,
I agree.
Oh, I love this series. Don't get me wrong; it's great.
It's overall the art direction is amazing. The direction is amazing. The acting, the story,
cinematography.
The cinematography, everything. It's just
the writing, the dialogue.
Yeah, it's just some of the nuances in the dialogue I love. Hands down, Diego does an amazing job. Not only is he acting, but he's reacting, and that's the beauty of acting. Is when you see him listening to the other actors, and then he reacts accordingly. And there's something about the genuineness of his performance. I think he's carrying it really, really well. I have the overall world of Star Wars and the things that I do not like is part of the art direction. Is I don't like things that remind me of this world, and when I see it blatantly, and there's no hiding it, it takes me right out of the Star Wars realm.
Right.
And perfect example was the Book of Boba Fett with the Vespas and the what's that?
Spinning.
Power Rangers. Yep.
But I think so far in this series, people that have seen Bix are not complaining either. That keeps them in a good world, right?
Yeah.
Big fan.
The cereal, some of the stuff. The thing I do like, and it's really subtle, is the hairstyles. I don't know if you noticed that. Like just the mustache. I don't have a mustache, but I have actually a goatee.
It's the Nazi style.
This is all dry.
It's 70s, 60s.
But yeah, it's all 70s. It's not like they just walked out of Magic Cuts or whatever.
Supercuts, yeah.
Supercuts.
I like Magic Cuts better.
It is, right?
The 70s style type of lived-in look. I wish it was some of the uniforms were a little bit more lived in and not right off the rack. Some of the shots in some of the scenes I thought looked too clean, too staged. But that's my eye, and that's how I see things sometimes. I can't shut my brain off. But overall, I really liked it. So anyway.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Blackspire? What'd you think about this episode?
I think I agree with Mr. Boudreau quite a bit. I can appreciate, again, I said it earlier, that artist's eye. I like hearing it from a professional's perspective because I see these things and I can't quite understand them. What? I'm really hoping that this coming mission is going to be something that's super exciting because we're building a lot on it. I felt, going back to time with the Book of Boba Fett, I loved the finale episode, but I thought the build-up to the Pikes being the main antagonist was a bit underwhelming. So I'm hoping this doesn't kind of parallel that. I'm hoping it's something really big, A lot of people end up dying. There's got to be a reason we're learning a lot about these characters, and they're trying to get us to feel that emotion with them. So, but I think
it's because there's 12 episodes, and they're like, shit, how do we stretch this?
I like the little nuggets that they have, like the TIE fighter going through.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome.
The buzz, low level buzz.
That makes you go, yeah. That's what. Yeah.
I think to David's point, I think we all will feel very satisfied. I mean, I don't know how they could screw it up, but I mean, there are that chance. But
I mean, you could throw Vespas and the Mandalorian in it.
What's that?
You could throw Vespas and the Mandalorian in it, and that screwed up pretty bad.
But I don't think I don't think the showrunner is different on this.
Yeah.
So
right.
I don't think we're going to see that kind of beat. I think they'll learn from their mistakes.
I want to hear. Does anybody think that it's slow? In the pre-show, I know we talked that word filler comes up a lot, so I'm just curious if people think about that.
Well, yeah, for me, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the episode, but when I was sitting there waiting for something to happen, I'm like, okay, we got some more backstory, cool. Okay, we get to learn about Lieutenant Gorn, cool. We get to see Serial and his build on hate against Andor and see what storyline that takes. But then it ended, and I was like, damn it, it finished. Just left me hanging.
That's right. Ending it, and you want more.
That's how I felt about last week.
That's the idea.
That's how I felt about last week's episode. Even though last week I think was one of the longer episodes. I don't know what this week's is. Last week was like 47 minutes, and it ended kind of abruptly. And I haven't seen this week's, but I would say it kind of made it seem like there was a ticking clock in the last episode.
Right, and you were thinking, okay, next episode, boom, 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 we're gonna get something.
And dinner party. Right? I was just as excited about the dinner party as I was the raid. So
dinner party.
The TIE buzz is the action of this episode, no doubt.
Yeah.
You see the TIE buzz, and you see an Imperial shuttle in the background. So I wonder who that is.
Right.
So yeah, there's.
Let's just all stop watching it until all the episodes are done.
And then just binge it.
Watch the whole thing.
How far in the future that is? Oh my gosh. We're not.
The last episode is November 23rd.
Right. You got any more of that Star Wars?
Yeah. Like it too.
I know.
November 23rd.
Hey, whoever's next.
Yeah. What do you think about this episode, Jason?
I mean, it's a filler episode, but I mean, again, I like the espionage stuff. It's they're spies. They're not going to go in guns blazing. They got to set up. I love him kind of going, when he's talking to those guys, he's like, what are you guys doing? Okay, I'll give you tomorrow off, but make sure that shit's done when I come in. Knowing like his guys are coming in the next day. I love that kind of stuff. It is, slow to a degree, but I think everyone's going to forget that. Like, we haven't even seen the clone troopers yet that we saw in the previews. We haven't seen all the big, like, whoa moments, So, like, we know that's coming, right? So next week will probably be insane once we have clone troopers showing up and attacking and shooting people and, maybe some, like we're talking, maybe there's a Vader cameo in the background or Krennic showing up as a cameo. Saul Guerrero hasn't even shown up yet. I know
Forrest Whitaker has not been
on the ready to happen.
You
might the beginning was a little slow, but it made up at the end. I mean, again, best written show so far.
Most recent comment needs to make the screen.
Like Jose's comment right here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing.
Well, I love it. It's
lies.
He's getting paid by Disney.
What's up, Mark Mahoney?
Yeah.
Joel loved last week's episode, so I'm excited to hear how he heard about.
I don't think I've heard Joel say he liked any of the episodes.
No, I really liked the first three. I really liked them.
What about this one, Joel?
So I love the filming. Like, I agree with David. The filming aspect is way different. The low flying TIE fighter, just the scenes they did, just amazing. The Easter egg of the Indiana Jones was awesome.
We talked about that.
It's just a lack. It was slow. I'm not an Empire guy though, so I'm troopers, aliens, creatures. I like to see new things like that, so I'm hoping to see two tubes in this. Just really slow for me. AK-47s really just throw me off, or whatever those are,
Yeah.
I need to see lasers. I need to see something futuristic, even if it's not action or shooting them or anything. I just need to see something cool. Not a square ship or a triangle ship, you know.
Yeah.
You don't like the concept ships? It's all.
Well,
good,
the
man.
one ship was badass. His.
Yeah.
And his shop was badass with all the Easter eggs and all that stuff. But,
well, Joel, you're not allowed to watch it from here on out until the end.
Apparently not. You know, I got to see it all at once in one big picture because there's obviously going to be filler episodes to build the characters. Yes. I get that. So
they have to, you know, because you're damn if you do, if you're damn if you don't, right? If they didn't introduce the characters and the backstory, people will complain.
Right.
And now they're doing it and people are complaining. So
I haven't.
Well, it depends on how they do it, right? If they're taking up 8 episodes just for character introduction, you're like, you get lost. Yeah. You're like, screw this. You know.
I haven't damned the series. The first episode when he walks into that underground and it's just amazing. The Blade Runner-ish style.
Yeah,
that was cool.
The flathead chick.
Yeah, you know? Well, not so much flathead chick, but the hologram chick. I mean, that stuff's awesome to me. The music's different.
Yep.
It's about time Disney grew up.
Yeah, I think this one was more of a Lieutenant Gorn backstory.
Yeah,
worse for adults.
Yeah, so I think we're getting there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So I love the series, but this episode, not so much.
I'm gonna use this for the previously on Spice Runners. I love the series.
But no.
But hate the ship.
But I hate the ship. That goddamn ship. Why is it triangle?
Right.
Well, Janine kept asking me, is that the ship he hates? No, that one's fine. Well, which one is it? It's this one.
I'll find that part of the clip and post it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll hear
really
him.
feel, Joel. That's how I feel.
I hate that effing ship. Yeah.
What about you, Scott? What'd you think about this episode?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It definitely felt slower because I think we were all kind of hoping it would be at the heist at this point or starting that they're actually going in or getting ready to go in. And it felt like it was a little bit more drawn out. But at the same time, I still enjoyed it because however they're doing this series, it feels, like what everybody else has been saying. It's more cinematic. It's more movie-like.
Yeah.
It's more of a series the really good series that we've seen on, HBO or Showtime or whatever, that this is finally hitting that. Because Mandalorian's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Book of Boba Fett, whatever. Obi-Wan series, cool. They've all been... Even the Marvel stuff, it's been okay or good or even great, but this is a totally different level that I don't think we've seen from Disney yet for doing a series. And it feels different. It looks different. I think they're being more careful. It's more story-driven than some flashy effects and things. And it definitely has the better potential. Like I said, I liked it. I felt this one was just a little bit slower. But some of the things that I've been catching on, so we know like Benjamin Bowen is really ultimate. I've watched it 85 times. I paused every single scene. I mean, he's really, really paying attention to everything that's going on and picking up any little thing that he can get out of it, which is awesome. But even like Marcel has been posting things that I didn't even think of. Mm-hmm. The mother giving him the cereal, the Boo Berries, is because she still sees him as an infant. She's treating him as a child, not as an adult. She still sees him as a child,
Snap.
So
what's up, James?
Things like that he's pointing out is like, oh, wow, because, I don't know. I think it's because it comes on at midnight, my time. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm entertained by it, but I'm also tired. So I'm not picking up on those things. I'm just kind of going with the flow. But I dig what Benjamin brings and Marcel brings and anybody else that has their 2 cents to share with it, because then I stop and I go back and I think about it,
It's next open mic, we need to do Marcel versus Benjamin.
Yes.
What about you? You didn't watch it, Jason, right?
What?
Dubak?
My TV show.
I didn't, but,
He's basically watched it now.
Yeah. I think... I echo everybody's sentiments, particularly Scott's. But yeah, I think we're all ready for a more character-driven series.
Yeah.
And I don't think any one of us wanted necessarily Andor to be the series, but I think we all know it feels right. It just feels like the show that we need after what we've had over the last couple of years. And Mando's great. I love Mando to death, but this feels much more purposeful to me. There's just a lot more intent behind the story and well thought out.
It's thought out and it's going in a direction that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Is that kind of what you're saying?
And I don't have a problem with the slow burn because I don't know Tony Gilroy, but I know his work, and this is what he does. If you look at Rogue One, this is what he did. If you look at the Bourne movies, it's building up, and obviously you got 12 episodes. Yeah, and then he just punches you in the face. I mean, that's where it's headed. I know it's going to get there, so it's like I don't mind having these meditations, here and there, and taking a little bit more time to get.
Can I share an unpopular opinion about Cyril?
No.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
So I like him more as the show goes along, which obviously is what it's meant to be. But I disliked him early on for a reason that was like I appreciate series like this where they're taking the time to do the research and have expertise bring into stuff, and I think that his character, he came off as that, like as a former cop, as a former military person, like that they're putting him on the screen as that, right? But he's like over the top, tight, like stand up straight. It's way over the top, and having been in those professions, it's fake. It's not generally speaking. There every once in a while you get somebody like that, but it's generally speaking not like that. And having done that, watching it, I just cringed every time he was on the screen at the beginning.
Really?
It's like, this is fake. Like, this is not how it really would work. I understand it's Star Wars, but it's too much.
I see kind of unbridled ambition. Like, he's either trying to prove something to himself or parents.
No, I can see it artistically. I just can't see it realistically.
Well, and I'm hoping that it's going to come up to him and
You said it.
I don't know
I did.
what the character's name is, but on the Empire side, that you've got two folks that are like-minded in their ambition, and they're looking to really establish themselves. I'm hoping that they kind of are going to collide at some point.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
So I got this image up or whatever this is. It's part of the scene.
Yeah.
Just to show like the details they put in the scene. It's a simple breakfast nook, but then they Star Wars the hell out of it.
Dude, they put the money in this show.
They
got a droid in the background.
Yeah, I was gonna say that droid. I didn't notice that before. But yeah, it's almost like a boxy R2D2 weird.
It's got three legs.
Yeah,
different than R2 though.
And a lot of
triangle.
It's a Roomba.
And they're not using. Was the volume used at all for this? Is it mostly sets?
No.
You can tell because once we all figured out what the volume was, I appreciate sets far more now.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? It was like the same thing when CG was coming out and they were doing space stuff in CG. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's amazing. But then you miss the practical effects of it or the studio models and things,
Well, now that I know how the volume works, I'll go back and watch Mando. I'm like, oh, I can clearly see the line. I can clearly see this, now that I know how it works.
And I don't think it's necessarily the show is better or worse, but you want different things out of these shows. It's like you go to Mando with certain expectations, right?
Right.
You know what kind of ride you're going to have. This, I think, again, we have different expectations. So they're equally good based on different.
This is more drama. This is more thought out. This is more scripted correctly. This is more novel, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones, there's quick, they're quick, short stories, kind of a thing.
Mando reminds me of like the '80s adventure.
Choose your own adventures.
Yeah, you go on a quest.
It reminds me of like Buck Rogers, like the '80s Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
But isn't that what Star Wars was, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big epic on the screen,
I like some episodes of Mando, and some I can't stand.
Yeah.
So Blue Milk is available in supermarkets all around the universe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Blue Milk.
And
blueberries.
Blueberries. I love it.
Let's see, let's scoot up the episode. All right, so let's catch up with our hero in the rebel camp. And then this is where this guy right here is like questioning Andor. And it looks like he has prison tats.
I like his character.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we got at, I think, with that.
Yeah, so we know
well,
he's an
he
ex-prisoner.
assures him straight out, everything's fine, don't worry. That's the first thing he says. But yeah, dude, I had to go through your shit. I had to make sure you're legit.
Well, I suppose you look like Tyler Durden in Fight Club.
Yeah, he does.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Yep. So he went through all of Andor's stuff, and he got his coins, his gun. He's like, "Where'd you get this gun from?" Corporate issue.
Right. Yeah.
So is this guy gonna fuck up the mission? Is that where we're heading with it?
He doesn't trust Andor, so something's gonna happen.
Yeah, something's gonna happen.
But I also feel like this guy's like, yeah, I'll probably die here. I'm fine.
And I'm willing to gamble he probably does die.
Yeah.
Yeah. 99% sure.
Not if he gets stabbed through the torso with the lightsaber.
Yeah,
that's true, right?
Man. Everybody's got multiple stomachs.
Except for Qui-Gon.
Yeah, poor Liam, man.
Yeah, so here we see all his prison tats, and Andor was able to pick them all out.
Right. Yeah.
And it turns out that Andor spent some time too when he was younger.
And it's a good point, Jason. Andor is the only one who knew what his tats meant.
Yep.
Every one of them. Yeah, they won over each one.
Yeah.
But even still, like if you're suspecting someone to be in like not who they are, he probably thinks this guy's like a undercover Imperial.
Right.
But this is also total Star Wars with the tats. Who the hell would put tats on their body like that? They would be a little bit more laid out and symmetrical, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, these are.
I'm just saying.
I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Something different.
No, they're obviously Star Wars, right?
Yeah, they're more Star Wars,
I
where
don't
Star
think,
Wars things would be. Absolutely.
Like David said, these don't look of this world. No.
Right.
Yeah, so he's right here. He's like having that conversation. I was 13 when I went in. I did 3 years.
Right.
I think the dialogue's great.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Cinta's a quiet one. This one right here.
But she's the toughest, yeah. Like it says
she is the toughest, yeah. And then Vel seems like she's like perplexed, with the whole situation.
She wants to be. She's in a leadership role, but I'm not sure if she's meant to be a leader.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep, absolutely. And then here we see the light side, the rich people, Mon Mothma and her husband. And
I do love that they're really highlighting like high society on Coruscant.
Oh yeah,
right.
Because we don't see that, right?
No.
And then her daughter's having issues. So this is the part where I said it felt like a CW moment.
Right.
Yeah. I thought they were kind of prison tats. Were they prison tats or military tats?
I think they're prison tats.
Yeah, I thought they were prison tats.
Like he was in like youth facilities or whatever.
Yeah.
Evan, what did you mean by CW moment? What's that?
Like
so CW, so like those.
So
there's a lot of TV shows that are for teenagers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I could see Disney.
My mom doesn't understand.
Teen drama, yeah.
Sing it, baby.
That's interesting because I saw it completely differently.
Oh, I would like to hear what you saw.
Thoughts? Yeah. What did you think about it?
That's why we are here.
I saw it as or I read it as the family suspects her of being a part of the rebellion.
I can see that too. Actually. Yeah.
I don't know if I see that. I just see the disconnect. You can see the separation and the marriage.
I heard it in the volume at the end of the scene where it was very like we all know that you're part of that, or
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that.
And that's what I thought that scene was setting up to me.
Now, how big of a deal is the
storytelling?
rebellion right
it's
now?
It's setting up. It's almost this whole show reminds me of the beginning of World War II of the Jews against the Nazis.
Yeah.
This is like a kind of like maybe it could be set in Poland where the family and the mother is going to go hide the Jews where the rest of her family is not. They love the empire. They love everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
They probably profit by it. And here she, the mother, is
seeing the evil,
secretly part of the underground rebellion.
If you put this story on Earth, that's what it would be, right? Like it's exactly
that's what I'm relating it to.
Yeah.
Oh, V was like that.
Yeah.
This whole scene, that's what it said to me when I saw it, was that they're setting up sort of a hierarchy of, they're part of the empire and they're pro-empire, and she's trying to basically keep up that
appearance
when secretly, and of course I think the daughter will eventually down the road give her up
I think you're probably right.
Yeah. Well, it's like Marcel had said here. To him, this scene with the husband and daughter is building the disconnect between Mothma and her family so she can run off and join the rebellion later, is what he's feeling with it.
It's kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically speaking the same language.
Some sort of disconnect so that it can be disjointed later on and it's not a...
Yeah, so that when it comes time where, you know, the daughter could be like, she's part of the rebellion.
Right.
And gives her up.
I can see that happening, yeah.
Like a story point.
V was the same way.
Yeah.
V? V's great. I love V.
Yeah. Oh, V? Yeah, exactly, right?
Mark Singer's character. And
Exactly.
Freddy Krueger. Yeah.
Yep.
Find a Polaroid.
This kind of, I was like, what the?
Yeah, that Polaroid, man.
I was like, oh,
well,
it's
too recognizable as a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like,
that's what the problem is with it, you know?
Hey, it's better than an AK-47.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
That's digital screens on it. Come on now.
This kid is like a mix between Ted Kaczynski and Karl Marx.
This kid is like brilliant too.
Well, he is. He's just real sad when he realizes Andor don't give a shit.
Right.
Right. He's gonna die too.
He's like, you're not about the cause? I'll stop talking to you
then.
Yeah. Well, he's smart enough to know that then.
Right.
So
this kid's dying for sure. Like probably the first one to die. He's gonna catch a stray 7.62 in the face from an AK.
He's a red shirt. You can totally see it. He's a red shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A red shirt like in Star Trek?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Red shirt.
But I think his dialogue's brilliant. You know, I think he's a good actor too.
Yeah, he is. Isn't he from the? Wasn't he like the child actor from the?
I can picture him, man.
He was a child actor in that movie with
that was that guy that was in that thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Exactly.
That
he was
guy.
in something big though. I just don't remember what.
He was in another fantasy movie type of thing.
Right. For whatever reason, I picture him with a stutter. I don't know why.
I can't remember the name of it. Where was all this shot in Scotland?
I don't know. It looks like
could be.
Yeah, I think it was Sweden. Yeah, I think you're right.
Where?
I think it was Sweden or something like that. I remember. I want to say New Zealand, but I'm not sure. I'm sure it will say at the end of the credits where they want to thank, but I remember hearing it when somebody said Sweden. I'm like, yeah, maybe Sweden. I don't know. You know, the hills are alive with the sound of music.
Yes, I just
watched here we see Lieutenant Gordon in his day job.
Right.
Yeah.
And this felt very real.
He's a prick, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, you can see he's a true officer, like the way he talks to the.
Oh yeah, but I've been that enlisted guy doing this same bullshit. So yeah, this is very real.
Yeah.
Wait, can you pan back? Does he have anybody hiding under his coat?
No.
Not
there are not 4 legs there. There might be 3, but there's definitely not 4.
Oh man.
Jason, the writing's not that good, okay? You gotta work with the plot they give us.
Oh man.
Well, and the TIE fighters in the show actually fly. They do.
That's true. But I have to say, that little model they made of what they're going to do for the heist, that model was amazing.
It was cool, and I love it. For sure, yeah.
This guy's cool. I like this actor.
Yeah. I think good acting again.
Yeah, they're
he's going to be a guy you don't like, which is good.
Right.
Oh yeah. If you hate the actor, that means they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I love the sets. I love all the small sets there.
Mm-hmm. I actually think overall this is some of the best acting you've seen in a series for sure.
Oh yeah,
agreed.
Sure.
Agreed.
Well, we're not counting She-Hulk.
Well, they've sold it. They've sold it, right? You're going with it. You're immersing into it. You're enjoying it, and you're like, oh, okay. Whereas, like the Obi-Wan series, as everybody threw that thing into a different perspective, the actress that was playing Reva didn't do a good job.
No.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with anything else, but you didn't sell it to me. It wasn't believable to me.
Right.
It was also because I think the way it was written too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Both of those. Yep. But this, yeah, like you just said, everybody is on point to where you are immersed into it. You feel like you're there. Nothing is throwing you out unless you're like Joel and you see an AK-40 and you're like, screw this.
Yeah, that's it.
I feel like there's a plan. I feel like they knew where they wanted to go with this, whereas I feel like with Boba and Obi-Wan, it was kind of like, maybe we had different writers.
Exactly. And this one, everybody dies. That's how it works. Everybody dies.
Well, I know everyone doesn't
That's
like
the
this. I know everyone is complaining about the slow burn, but the thing I like about it is that they're not rushing into it.
Right.
Like I found Obi-Wan, they were rushing.
Yes.
Storyline.
Yes.
It wasn't believable. It just wasn't. I mean, it
was just too short of a story.
I just kicked Vader's ass, and 2 minutes later, now I'm on Tatooine. It's like.
But I think the big thing with the it is what is the it? In Obi-Wan, there really wasn't an it. In Book of Boba Fett, the it was underwhelming. So it's like, what's this it gonna be? It better not just be this mission. There's got to be more than that, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's
but
all about
at the same time, it's like a XXX movie. Everybody will get it in the end.
Right. It's about. Right.
Well, they're gonna have to chase him back and kill his robot so he can take the brains out and put it in.
We're about to get Game of Thrones in this next episode, I hope.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, everybody but Andor.
The Red Wedding.
Yes.
It'd be the red dinner party.
Yes.
Yeah, the Red Wedding. Oh my god.
Red dinner party.
Yeah. Give me.
Here they're marching around. Andor says, "You guys don't know what you're doing. Hide the guns."
Shit.
And then
This is awesome.
Here's your action scene.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Here you go, Joel.
There you go.
This is actually really cool.
No, this was really well done.
Especially in surround sound.
That makes it
amazing.
Oh yeah.
That is just awesome.
That was great.
I'm gonna watch this on the projection screen tonight.
Dude, on surround sound, it's amazing.
If that's the last action we get in Andor, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those little scenes though just make you go, "Oh yeah, that was awesome." Yeah, absolutely.
And then we get this damn security guy. It's a new uniform, I think.
It is.
Bye, Sean. Night, Sean.
And he's using
Benjamin
the headphones.
Bowman, can you tell us the thread count of that uniform? What is it like?
Benjamin
has
could.
it.
Benjamin
Skip
could.
Benjamin on it.
Yeah, he could definitely tell you.
But these are the same headphones you use.
Like earlier, Benjamin
connect
ripped
to-
on me for talking about CMYK versus RGB, and you got somebody who's got the most esoteric facts on things.
Yeah, so let's skip forward. So we're back in ISB.
Robin.
And I only seen this episode once, so I don't remember what this scene was about.
Is this the same guy that was with her last episode? Because he looks like he's supposed to be a young Tarkin. I know he's not.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this episode they're digging deeper as they should have. They should be leaving it alone. Remember where we had the scene last episode with the whoever? They're still digging for whatever they think.
If you read the subtitles on this part, there's a lot of Easter eggs on the planets that they're putting in their targeting. Yep.
Well, Jakku is it? No, it's Jeddah. It's Jeddah that Saw Gerrera was on, right?
Right.
Yeah, but Jakku is where we first see Rey.
Right.
Right. That's right.
We're really bringing in the sequel trilogy. Yeah. There.
Is this guy related to Tarkin?
He looks
I
like
told
his
you.
son.
He looks like it, right?
This is
But
Tarkin's son.
But he's a lieutenant at this point, this guy, so it's
like
definitely not
Tarkin's
Tarkin.
brother.
It's not.
Oh no, I know he's not Tarkin. I just thought he was related to him.
They just picked a whole bunch of people that looked like totalitarian
shaped heads. Yes.
Maybe it's Emperor's son who's Rey's dad.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, but he turned out to be good.
So here they're burning the model. Sorry, Scott. The model.
I
you
know,
like,
right?
Bye-bye
It's like that
model.
perfect
I know.
scaled studio scale model.
That's just foreshadowing for how shitty the mission's gonna go.
Right?
And he's like, "Why am I eating cereal? I was a corporal, and now I'm eating
Why
cereal."
did
on my
you
mom's side."
beat me as a kid, Mom?
It's like, "Mom, enough."
Well, typical. Let me call your Uncle Harry. You know, goes.
Oh,
that
yeah.
is so typical.
So I looked him up. He's he's an imperial officer, and
Nice.
according to Wikipedia,
The uncle?
yeah.
Yeah.
You went to the point of looking him up, Edmund?
Dude,
Well,
they
the
said
question
what
is
we're
it
talking about.
is it actually an uncle or is it somebody that she
knows.
introduced him to as the uncle because she used to, whatever
Secretary.
guy or
Yeah,
something.
that
Yeah.
Uncle Joel.
He used to leave the keys in the fishbowl, and then like, that's just your uncle.
Yeah. Yeah. it kind of seems like that's going to be his background.
Look at the scenery. You know, you can't get this with
beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Not the volume.
Volume.
Sure.
Volume, yeah.
Well,
This was cool. Like when we went to the underground.
I know that's an overused term, but it's lived in. It feels
Right.
So Joe, what do you think about this?
Is it
That is badass.
Okay, cool. I like the shapes on it.
Yeah, this is this gives a creation of a new vision, and it's just awesome. It makes sense. It fits.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because the rails on the top, right? We're used to trains and things with the rails on the bottom. This one's on the top.
Did they have that in Solo though? Didn't they have that transfer?
Yeah,
I think it's a similar one, right?
Is it the same? It's close.
Because they did a
But it's like
hijacking
underground.
on
It's in a
one
tunnel.
of-
They're expecting, everything ran underground.
They're gonna build it on Disneyland.
Yeah, it's almost a monorail but upside down.
You will pay $100 extra to go on that ride.
I would.
Yes, you get a lightning lane pass.
Yeah, this is good stuff here.
Lieutenant Gorn pissed off at the world, trying to give people extra duty so they can have less people on top.
You said duty.
Junior officer.
It is. That's what it's called, duty.
That's exactly it.
It's not many people's first choice assignments, but sir, we want to do the once in a lifetime thing.
Wah, wah, wah.
But then, yeah, we learned that Lieutenant Gorn's girlfriend or wife was killed by the Empire here.
Right.
Aha, that's where the hate comes from.
Yep, and that's where the hate comes from. And then this, I'm trying to get a shot of the money. The hell?
Yeah.
This thing's lying to me.
It's right in there. It's coming next.
There it is right there. The loot. Ah,
there goes the loot.
Stupid apple.
Hey, I got that cup.
Yeah.
I got that cup. I hope we see your toothbrush too.
Hey, they're awesome. You know it.
Disney Plus doesn't like Apple. There we go.
Oh, there it is.
So that's the loot.
That's the loot. I think that's what they're trying to steal, right?
Yes.
On it.
It's a payroll.
It's a quarterly
like poker
payroll.
chips.
Yes.
Yeah, right, David?
They
look like a rows of poker chips.
Yeah, they do.
Really large poker chips.
Yeah.
Because it's like you get the impression with the Empire, it's like, the ultimate communist side of things. You do your job, you get your room and board and your thing, and you'll own nothing and like it, right?
That's the military.
Right. So the thing is, having them payroll, that seems a little odd to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something strategic in military operations. Is if you cut the finances and food, you pretty much start taking out the military emotionally, mentally.
It's just cutting out individuality, right?
Right. Yeah. They don't want that. They want
a regular poker chip would be great for 1/6 scale.
Yeah.
Right.
Dishes are done.
Dishes are done. He's like, I'm done. More dialogue.
Yeah, more bickering. This was cool. I love this. I don't know. What
this scene, you really,
I'm
look at the space between them.
transitions.
Look at how far apart they are. For one.
Yeah, they hate each other.
Yep, you can tell that they're not in a relationship anymore. They're just there for optics.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he said, take the expressway or freeway or whatever he had said, it was like, kind of like, I don't want to be in the car with this bitch no more.
Right?
Yep, exactly.
What he's getting at.
That's the dude that played Highlander in the syndicated TV show.
Yeah. No. No, that was.
I'm joking.
I know, but it's that look. But now I have to think of who the hell played him. Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul?
No,
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
No.
The guy from Breaking Bad.
No, it's similar. The guy that played Duncan.
Highlander TV
Oh, yeah.
Adrian Paul.
You can see this guy's hot toys.
Seeing those clone hot toys back there, yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Those Phase
Is that
1
the
clones.
SDCC exclusive?
Is that a hot toy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
But you can tell this guy's totally miserable, and it's the same day every single day. Wakes up, sits in his room with no shoes on, his little pajamas, and then goes out and eats his blueberries, and then goes
like a
back
failure,
to bed.
man.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude,
Total
those
failure.
walls are so blank. He needs to get some Boudreau art up on them.
Right.
Some Boudreau.
Yes.
You need some Hazy customs.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can see that this guy's going through an emotional
Yeah, like General
issue.
Kenobi says, hot toys are canon.
That's-
Absolutely.
yes,
Hot toys.
It's only because
There
I've
you
been
go.
watching it. This is reminding me of scenes from Dahmer on Netflix. It's good.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
Such
yeah.
a good show.
Maybe that's where it's going. I don't know.
Because he's over here obsessed with Andor. You know, he's in there like in his room. He's like, this fucking guy made me lose my job. I am coming
Yeah, but
after
the
him.
whole funny thing is he's the one that made him lose his job.
Right, he just didn't
But he
listen
doesn't
to the
see that.
douchebag.
No.
obviously.
He doesn't see that.
Yeah,
You,
but
you
in
know,
his-
in the previews we saw clones. I don't know when we're gonna see those.
Episode 11, probably.
Right. And there's
Yeah.
only 12 episodes.
Right.
Because
I
Well,
think-
it could be in Andor's flashback because he's in prison at some point.
yeah,
True, true.
we'll probably see him after these guys go rob the money.
Because obviously that image is younger Andor.
So
Oh,
we'll-
yeah.
yeah.
Younger.
Maybe he's in love.
I'm not
Maybe-
in love.
Maybe that's
Or
what it's all
maybe he
about.
knows them.
Man, that's the second time you serenaded us tonight, Jason.
I know, he's on a roll, right?
I'm loving this
Right.
shit. Get your harmonica out.
What's up with this watch?
Loving that thing. That thing's sweet.
Yeah, that's
I have no
cool.
idea what it does, but it's cool.
I don't know how you tell time with it, but
You
I don't
can't tell
know.
time with any of them freaking watches.
Benjamin, make it happen.
I don't know, it
It's
just
a cool
looks
prop to
cool.
have.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, that reminds me, I got a new watch band. I'll have to show you guys.
Oh,
one.
dude, I saw that. That was badass.
That's a badass watch.
Dude, I tagged my wife. I'm like, holiday hint.
I love
Yeah.
this. Where it's, like, this scene made me laugh. I was like, this seems like the world's smartest espionage move.
Right,
Yeah.
with the fire flame, and they
just-
said, okay, that's enough, and he's
In the
still
middle of
waving
night.
it.
We're over here.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not as bad as twirling before you fire a shot.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
And then we got Luton over here trying to hack or listen
Yeah.
for a dial tone.
Yep.
And you see the holocrons or whatever in the background,
Yeah, you
possibly,
can get
even
both
though they're bigger.
holocrons.
I'd like
Yeah.
to make a collect call.
Isn't there a Temple of Doom reference in here coming up?
Yes, there
Yeah.
is.
stones
There is.
that they use.
Yeah,
That's right next to the
Oh, yeah.
holocrons.
There is.
from that.
And the second one, yep.
Yeah, I
And
geeked
then
on
Cleo's
that.
like,
That
what
was
the hell are
probably
you
the best
doing?
part of the
They're right there.
episode.
You're up there on the
Yeah.
shelf, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, the
yeah.
Shankara stones. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
zoom in on that at all, Evan?
Yeah.
Oh, it
Nah,
does.
Disney
It
Plus
goes
doesn't
into
let me
it.
zoom in.
Mm.
But you can
Just keep
tell.
going.
That's obvious.
Is that from Temple of Doom?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
The Shankara stones.
And
And
all
then next
three
to it,
of
they
them are
got
there.
giant holocrons. The Sith
those
one, which
are-
is the triangle one, and then the square one.
Those are
Yeah.
enormous.
What's that from, Scott?
The holocrons, Rebels, I think, is where we really saw
Clone
them.
Wars.
Those are just
Clone Wars.
Kylo Ren
Yeah.
just plugged his ship right into it.
Stuff that I haven't seen.
All the way.
those just the size of those are enormous.
Yeah, so,
Gi-
so these are
ginormous, yeah.
like memory cards or hard drives, and the cartoons. Cad Bane actually tried to steal these,
It's like a
From
palm
the
He does
size.
still one.
He
and
does.
then in Rebels, what's his space
Darth
found
Maul.
one of these?
Darth
Maul,
Ezra,
Ezra.
Ezra, Maul.
Ezra.
Yep. Mhm.
Ezra, yeah, Ezra. That's what I was
You
thinking of.
stole it from Darth Maul.
I haven't
Yep.
seen any of those.
They're worth
Good.
fun.
Yeah, if
But
you
like
keep
every
going, you'll see a
time this
close up
guy's
on those
on-
stones.
Every time this guy's on a scene, it's awesome because there's so many Easter eggs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pause every time he's on.
Yeah.
He's also just a great actor. Yeah, it's just awesome.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
When he
No,
did
he
the
does a great
transformation of the ship, I know some people made fun of him. He put on his wig, and it was like,
But that just shows that he's living a double life.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
just when he kind of got into character and that just simple hand movement, it was
Yeah,
like,
it rubs the lotion on itself.
Yes, on
Uh,
itself.
Pick the
That's
lotion
funny.
in the basket.
you don't know what pain is.
I'm still curious who this Clea chick is.
Right? Clea.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Clea.
That is
I like
not,
how there's always Greebly somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I could
that's-
probably make some of those.
Hell yeah. There was something in Carbonite here earlier. Oh, there it is.
That was last
Down.
week, dude. They had that
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
So we got a
but
better
that-
shot of it this time around.
That looks more
It almost looks like
necklace.
a necklace. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it
looks
looks
like
less
a
like
really
Indy's
big
whip than-
necklace. Yeah.
It does look like a
Crazy.
But it's cool. When I saw this episode, I was like, huh, so you buy something from him and he puts it in Carbonite so you can take it home instead
Yeah,
of shopping
man,
bag?
it's the packaging. That's way better than
Yeah.
USPS, that's for sure.
Right?
You're right.
True, right?
They'll make it
And
in
you're
one
like,
piece.
look at the box it came in. How cool is this?
Are those Stuva or Besta?
Yeah, the cabinets in the back.
Yeah. Probably a mixture of both. All right, so Luthen and Clea have some dialogue. There we go. That's where I wanted to see. Get a better shot right there. And this is the stuff that's not on display, so it's. I wonder what else he has in there.
Lots.
He's probably got Anakin's lightsaber somewhere.
Maybe.
It's
in
everything, right? So it's just.
This is the last scene, I think.
No, it goes back to those stones.
No credits.
And it just.
Credits.
Yeah, it
Must
just
have missed
ends.
it. There is a good shot of those stones.
Is there better than we saw?
Yeah, I took a good pick.
Luthen's definitely an inbox collector for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. My theory on Luthen is he's either like a former librarian or just a Jedi sympathizer, like a Wills person. Because how did he get a kyber crystal? How does he know about those?
He's kind of like the collector.
Yeah, it could be the collector, or his parents were part of this, and he was hidden away, but he had stuff. Who knows?
This is what, like,
knows what the
20
backstory
years
is.
after Order 66. I don't remember what the timeline is, but
It's
this is 5 years before Yavin, so at least 15 years.
Yeah, I would say 15.
15 or so. Yeah, 15. Because Andor, next season's 4 or 5 years going on. So this is year 1, and that's like 4 and 5 leading up to A New Hope.
Yep.
This would be like 15 years after Palpatine takes over.
General Kenobi says Jocasta News brother.
Mm.
It's a good theory.
I don't know. I don't theorize. I never get them right, anyways.
Me neither.
That's the whole point of this.
I know. I know.
Remember we theorized that Book of Boba Fett was going to be good? That was a crazy theory everyone had.
Man, and then it was a whole episode 2.5 Mandalorian.
I quit doing it after the First Order. I thought, man, there's so many cool things in that. I thought her staff was going to be a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Because it looked like Plo Koon's.
And then you're like, okay.
Yeah, so I just shut up.
Just watch the damn show.
Right.
Damn, so that's it. We covered episode 5.
Yeah.
Okay, what's our consensus on episode 5? Or do we even have one? Are we up for it still? We're still going in the right direction?
So overall, I saw 8 out of 10. Through the whole series for me is like an 8 out of 10.
All right.
Like this episode is probably like a 7 out of 10. It was good. I was just
7 out of 10, and you said it was filler. I'm impressed.
Well, yeah.
7 out of 10
even though I
overall.
said it's filler, it's still not a bad episode.
Beautiful filler.
Evan also liked the G.I. Joe movies. I just got to say that.
That's true.
Only like the first one because The Rock was in it.
Because The Rock.
Those movies.
The Rock makes everything better.
Evan liked Fast 9. So.
Which one?
Fast and the Furious number 9.
Which I don't even think I've seen it yet.
That's just when they started getting good.
Does it exist?
That's when they started getting more believable.
Yeah.
That's when it was about family.
Yes.
Fast and the Furious number 9 isn't that Road Warrior?
Right.
That's
I don't have
space.
friends. I got family.
That's space street racing. Yeah.
Oh no, but for real, overall, I think the series for me is still like around an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'd agree.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
I'm enjoying it too, but if they do like 2 more episodes at the pace this one was, then I'm going to start to lose it.
It's going to be rough, yeah.
It's going to be hard to come back.
It is hard to have that pace and then have to wait a week. Even though I understand what Boudreau's saying, I said that knowing you disagree with me on purpose. Because it does have that. It leads to anticipation, right? And I do.
You guys forgot to watch TV, man.
These episodes are necessary.
I hope so. Depends on what the day is, like we said.
Mark Ross, what's up, dude?
Space Street Racing, yes. That's exactly what Fast and Furious is now.
Well, I remember back in the day, we used to wait like weeks for like episodes. You watch an episode,
back in the day, we'd have to wait
like
6 months for a movie to come out.
Well, remember Star Wars, and we had to wait 3 years?
Yeah, right.
Oh, for movie sequels, you waited forever.
We're so old. We're so old. A New Hope used to be called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars, exactly.
Star Wars was so great. I mean, you could fill that whole time, the 3 years until the next episode came out.
You're saying what, David? You still refer to it as that?
Yeah, I don't refer to it as A New Hope.
I don't
say
either.
Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Sweet.
Hey, what's your favorite episode, Dave?
Of Andor?
Star Wars, just Star Wars.
Star Wars. Star Wars.
Oh,
Star Wars.
I go Star Wars, Empire, Rogue One, Jedi, a few episodes of Mando. Actually, now I'll have to see the end of Andor, but this trumps Mando for me.
Joel meant to say that the Ewok movies do count.
Awful.
I never mentioned this, but I worked on the Family Guy Jedi episode.
No way!
Awesome.
Those are the best.
And so,
That's so awesome.
I had just started. It was like shortly after I started there, and I had to. I did most of the shots with the Ewoks, which is the part I hated the most. But yeah, I was given the shots to what they're running from the ATST, and then I had to animate all the explosions when the X-wings were going over the.
Hey, Mike.
In Celebration, we had to watch those. We watched, we had to match some of those shots, even though it's in Family Guy style. We followed the original movie quite intently. So, anyway.
Nice.
Now, because they did that one, right? The something dark side.
They did three. They did all three.
I think I've only seen one of them, and they were great. They were so much fun.
We had the rap party up at Seth's house, and we all were bussed up there. And just as you came in, there was a Stewie ice sculpture of Darth Vader, and it was during Christmas time, and I remember a lot of the stars came out, like Geordi LaForge from Star Trek.
Yeah.
And what's her face? That's in this Starbuck. I had Starbuck in front of me.
Katie Sackhoff.
Katie Sackhoff was in front of me at the bar, and then I had Geordi behind me. So it was really weird.
Did she say frack when they
did you turn around? Did you turn around and say, "Hey, it's a David"?
What the frack is up with this party?
Dude, I had to pinch her ass and turned away like I was talking to somebody else, and she slapped Geordi LaForge right in the face.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But yes, I like most of the stuff. I'm not a hater, but there's some like Solo. I like parts of it, and
yeah.
I like a little bit of everything.
I love Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Me.
Joel.
Joel.
Who said that? Get him out of here.
Yeah.
You guys don't like Solo?
No, I like
Solo. Yeah.
I actually like Solo.
So hey, I came on late, so I didn't get to do my pickups, and I want to give Joel some props real quick.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Whoa. Look at that, baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I love the idea that you started off with this. I got to do it because the wall-mounted trophies is just awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing idea, for sure.
Yeah,
that one. I love that one. The bantha head.
The expression on it.
Yeah.
Man, so big, dude.
Yeah,
it's as big as your face.
I've always wanted to do one of those.
Yes.
It's huge.
That's what she said.
I can't believe they haven't come out with something like that yet.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
that's one of the things I don't like about most of this stuff is that they don't come out with a lot of creatures.
I know.
That's why I do them, like Morov.
Yeah, right. I know.
That's why we got so excited about the Man and the Blurg, right? I mean, it was like, okay, we get Blurg out of the
sure, yeah.
You got the. Go ahead.
And Joel, you've got the dewback. That's for Jason, right? The big dewback head.
And
that thing's massive.
Look, while you guys were talking, I did this for him.
What? You sent me a picture of this thing an hour and a half ago and had no hair.
Right? Now it's got hair. It had no hair. That's your clip, Eben. What do you mean it had no hair? Yeah, exactly.
He made a furry inside of an hour and a half.
But the dewback, show him the dewback.
Yeah, the dewback is.
Because that is just like, holy.
I'll be honest, I'm most excited about this piece.
Yeah, look at that.
That's really cool.
Oh.
It's freaking massive.
Yeah.
Wait, dude, I don't know how I'm going to display that thing.
Just mounts to the wall.
Yeah.
Lick it and stick it, and it'll just go right on the wall.
Yeah,
Lick it and stick it.
Love it.
You can get some stuff on like
That's the
Etsy
next
or
one.
Amazon.
There's my Nexu.
Oh, I love that one.
That's sweet.
Blow him up.
Hold on, I get him up. Oh, there you are. Okay, let me get rid of.
Joseph wants to get that, but life size.
Yeah.
I think it's so awesome, Joel. Look at the eyes. Oh,
Yeah, that's cool.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that'll look good when I'm done painting it and hairing it.
That's the same one they have at the Disney.
Well, that's where I stole the idea from. I was like, "Hey, Joel, can you make me a bunch of head trophies of creatures?"
Yeah, that's really
from
cool.
Doc Ondor's.
Yeah, Jose's in the process of doing a 1/6 scale bantha, which we've seen Joel do. Yeah, those things are huge.
Yeah, I would love to do one myself.
Awesome, man.
At what scale?
1/6.
1/6 scale. I don't see it being any bigger than that.
1-to-1.
You could go 1/4 and actually write it.
It wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit in here. So
whatever you need, I'll hook you up, man.
Cool. I was gonna sculpt. I wanted to do. I was looking at elephants online, but I'm gonna sculpt the armature with
Dude,
wire.
they look funny as hell without no hair on them.
I know, right?
What do you mean that thing's hairless? Yeah, exactly.
I'm not even kidding. They look funny as hell. I can send you the files or whatever you want to do, and you can play with whatever. I don't know if you got printers or.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
It's
well, then I can just send you the sculpt, and you can play with it, or you can throw it away. I got a whole bunch down in the garage, so.
Okay.
Nice.
I might just
wonder, like, if anybody ever broke into our houses and they're just like, "What the fuck is going on?" Here?
I know. I opened my garage door and I got a whole bunch of Yenza stuff down in the garage in this glass cabinet and stuff, and people are probably thinking like, "Well, this guy's a fucking weirdo."
I can't sell this shit. Nobody would be interested in this. I'm not going to steal it.
Pizza delivery guy shows up. Hey, what are you doing? I'm playing with dolls, dude.
Hey guys, I think we've been at it for 3 hours and change.
Yeah.
I say we call it a night.
Yeah.
David Boudreau, thank you so much for
Absolutely.
tonight.
Yes.
Good stories.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope I didn't.
An honor.
No, not at all.
Fantastic, man.
I can't wait to watch the beginning of the show. I want to hear more about your.
I didn't know if anybody had any questions for me, and I forgot to. Because I can't see if anybody in the feed asked anything.
No, I think we missed the questions too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for having me on, and it was fun.
Thank you, man, for sharing
Absolutely.
your time.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was 3 hours. That's how.
That's how good it was.
Because you were working on a tauntaun.
Yeah, Jose is saying go to 4 hours.
If I was on the West Coast, I would.
Yeah, we us Floridians, man, it's late.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and we have a very last one. Great art on the show.
All
right, guys.
There's
Finish
actually
my
a second
drinks.
last one.
Drank like 2 liters.
Thank you, Marcel.
See you, Marcel.
Thanks, guys. Well, yeah. Again, thanks, David. Thanks, Blackspire. Thanks, everybody else for being here Friday night.
It's a fun show, guys.
Don't hang up when I end the broadcast. Stick around for the post show.
Yeah.
Cool.
So until then, see you guys next Friday, and check out David's stuff on Instagram, his website. It's in the description. And
if anybody wants to get anything, just contact me on Facebook or email me.
Hell yeah.
Got great prints. Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
All right. Later, guys. Have a good night.
Take care.
Bye.